All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close. We are here today, Tuesday, March 4th, 3:45 p.m. And we've got a little bit of a bounce. A little bit of a bounce currently in the stock market. I'm saying a little bit because literally 3 minutes before I went live, it was, I would say, a relatively decent bounce from the bottoms, and it's still a decent bounce, but it's not as big of a bounce as we had on the bottoms. The S&P 500 was at 585. Now we're at 579. Again, good bounce from 572, not as crazy of a bounce as we had 5 minutes before I went live. Palantir was at almost 88. Now it's at 85. Robinhood was almost at 49. Now it's at 46. And then Bitcoin right here was almost at 90. Now it's at 87. In general, we've had a nice little bounce from the lows, the absolute intraday lows that we had today. NVIDIA right here, 117 up 2.58%. 5 minutes before it went live, it was trying to go for 120. So really in the past 10 minutes, we've seen a little bit of a reversal, even though the equities look like they're going to end out green for the day, which is all we can ask for on a day like this, where obviously in the morning it was very, very volatile. But we're getting some green at the end, which is not the worst thing in the world. Tesla, it was at a low of 261. Now it's at 275. JP Morgan was down 6%. Now it's only down 3% at 250. Enphase is up 10.4% on the day. It was at $51 at one point. Now it's at 58, probably because of the Ontario news around electricity with tariffs that we'll talk about in a bit. But that's probably catching a bid right there. Nubank was down 5% on the day. Now it's actually up 0.5%. VRT and Vistra, data center, NVIDIA proxies were both down 5% on the day. VRT is now up 1.2%. Vistra is up 3%. So we've had a little bit of a bounce, Now, why did we have that little bit of a bounce? First of all, thank you everybody for being here and being part of the Market Close. We've got Technical Tuesday coming up. If you're new to the channel, that's where I get one of the best technical analysts, I think, in the world to come on and spend some time with me and discuss technical key levels that we're looking at in the market. So Jason will be on at about 4:20. And then we have Crowdstrike earnings as well. So that's a pretty big company. We'll be taking a look at them in about 12 minutes. Here's why I think we bounced. It's in this one chart here. And I know it's super simple, but I mean, this is why I think we did a bounce. We got to a fear and greed index lower than August 5th. For anyone who remembers August 5th, it was pretty insane. I mean, Robinhood was $13, Palantir was $20. Like, you just had prices. The VIX was up 600% in a day. VIX is not up 600% today, but nonetheless, the VIX did spike about 20%. So when you have a VIX spike like that happens like that, and you have equities that that just reach levels that seem ridiculous, like SOFI below 13, Robinhood at one point was almost getting close to low 40s. It was at $42. Yeah, you're going to get some market participants to step in, take advantage of the dip. And that's what we see is happening here right now. 2 moves I made today, or actually 3 moves I made today. Number 1, I bought more hoodie. And I will explain why I bought more hoodie in a second. I was listening to Vlad on a conference. I forgot he was doing this conference. I've got 3 stats for you. As soon as I heard him say these stats, I went and I bought more hoodie because I was like, you know what? I don't care. These guys are just constantly innovating. It is insane to not buy that dip. And honestly, the stock market started reflecting. I think they were listening to Vlad talking. As soon as he said some good words, the stock started bouncing as well. So I bought more hoodie. I sold my 200 shares of Reddit. I basically made a $200 to $300 profit when you factor in all the covered call premiums that I got. And I bought more NVIDIA. I now have 800 shares of good old NVIDIA at an average price of exactly, let me tell you in a second, 123.27. 123.27. So obviously the stock's at 116.94. I'm still down about $7 a share, but I now have 800 shares, 123.27 of NVIDIA, and got rid of Reddit. I bought Hood and I bought more NVIDIA. I basically did what I told other people to do, what Chris told other people to do in the morning, which is that high class your portfolio, right? I think Reddit's a high class company, but it's not a company that I want to hold on to for the next couple of years. Robinhood, NVIDIA, I definitely want to hold on to the next couple of years. Robinhood, realistically for a very, very long time. And so I did the same thing I told you guys was probably a smart thing to do. The same thing Chris talked about, which is just get rid of some of the junk in your portfolio, even if you have to take a little bit of an L and DCA into the stuff you care about. And so for me, I got rid of Reddit, DCA'd into Hood and NVIDIA instead. And that's the moves that I made today. Let me know in the chat what you made in terms of any moves. If you sold stuff, if you bought some puts, if you sold some puts, sold covered calls, bought covered calls, etc. Let me know what you did. Let me do a real quick poll in the chat, and then we'll talk about Hood in a second, which is a simple question that we've been having to ask ourselves pretty much every single day after we get a little bit of a bounce, which is bull trap or not? Bull trap or not? Do you believe in the bounce? Do you believe in the bounce right here? That is the question. I struggle to say yes, I believe in it. It feels kind of convincing, given freaking fear and greed was below August levels. But at some point, you just don't know. You just don't fully know. So we're gonna have to see. And again, I was really excited right before the market closed because I was like, all right, awesome. We bounced like crazy, and then like literally 3 minutes before the live, the bounce was fading away. So it's really hard to say that you could believe in the bounce, but nonetheless, if you're DCing into good companies, hopefully there's some decent prices. Okay, so what did Vlad say today on the Hood JMP conference? He said 3 things. He actually said a lot of things that I'll talk a lot more about later, but there's 3 headlines that I want to get through that we're just insane. All right, you guys ready for this? So on futures, my audio choppy. Audio. Okay, hold on. How about now? How about now? Are we good? Hold on. Are we good? Are we good? That's being stupid. Hold on. Okay, try something else. Why is this happening? Okay, dude, my mic got tariffs, bro. Why is it giving me all these issues? Okay. No, that's horrible. That's horrible. Oh my gosh, this is so dumb. This should be. It's not internet. Trust me, it's not internet. This is like either stream. It's not internet. Yeah, it should be good. Should be good now, right? Thumbs up. We're good. We're good. We should. That fixed it. I think that fixed it. Let me know. It's not a food stamp mic, bro. It's freaking $400 mic. Like, what's going on every freaking time? It was what's happening a few months ago. Yeah, right. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just reset it. All right, how about now? Are we good? Why is the camera not? Oh my god! Blaming the tariffs. Blame everything. Blaming the tariffs. Is this still being? If not, I'm just gonna switch my. I'm gonna switch my whole computer. Hold on. Let's see. Camera should be working now. Still cutting out. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Camera should. No. Now it should be good. Now it should be good. Now it should be good, right? Now it should be good. Yeah, it should be good. Audio should be good. Audio should be good. Okay, cool. So the reset worked. Okay, cool. Dude, I blame Trump for this. This is something with the Canadians are providing New York, Minnesota, and Michigan internet or electricity. I didn't know that today. Apparently, they're also providing it to my house, and they're messing with me today because of what Trump did. I'm absolutely blaming Trump on what happened today. All right, we're good. Okay, so what did Vlad say today? He said 3 things that were very, very important. Is it bad again? Please don't say it's bad again, dude. No trolling in the chat. Please no trolling. I don't know how to believe you guys or not at this point. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Is it? It's still sus? It's still sus? Fuck, dude. Why is it being so dumb? It's fading, right? It's good. It's kind of fading. It's good. Okay, if it really is bad, just put a bunch of thumbs down emojis, and then let me officially. That's how I'll know. Okay, you guys think it's good. All right. If I get a ton of thumbs down emojis, I'm just gonna switch to this computer, and that should fix the audio. The audio is not gonna be as good, but at least it won't keep going. Okay, cool. So here is what Vlad said today on the it's good in Canada. All right. Again, thumbs down if it's really bad. I need to see a lot of thumbs down if it's really bad. Don't say audio bad. Just show me the thumbs down. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to see it. Yes, we're good. Okay, cool. All right. So here's the 3 things Vlad said. Number 1, on futures, he said, we just finished launching futures to 100% of our customers, and it's been going incredibly well. It's at a faster ramp than index options and exceeding our expectations. Before launching it, we thought we would be a 9-figure business, and what we are seeing is giving us a lot of confidence. So it was funny because on the Robinhood Weekly podcast yesterday, we all 3 talked about how we don't have any numbers in futures and we don't know how well it's growing. Apparently, Vlad is saying that it's growing very well. And because it's growing very well, even faster than the index options, and that is a really good thing overall for the concept of futures. Number 2, gold subscribers. We now have 3.1 million paying gold subscribers. They had 2.6 million at the end of Q4. They now have 3.1, which means in the first 2 months of this year, they added 500,000 gold subscribers, which means they've added 250,000 gold subscribers a month. That is an insane growth rate. Last quarter, they added 500,000 now, or sorry, 250,000. Yeah. So this now every month we're adding another 250,000, which is insane. Okay, I'm seeing that the audio is breaking. All right, I'm gonna switch to a different microphone. This is so stupid, bro. I am getting really annoyed with. Actually, hold on. Let me give me 1 sec. I'm gonna get a new mic. I think that mic. 1 sec. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay, so I was gonna play this anyway. Here's Dan Niles. Dan Niles is super bullish on the market. I'm gonna get a new mic. He used to be there a month ago. Now he's super bullish.
Again, talk more about the sell-off, Dan, and this moving average which the S&P has not tested in 16 months, and we're 20 points away. To what degree does that, you think, count as support?
Well, I mean, we have our own proprietary models in-house that we look at, and they have about, I think, 21 or 22 factors in it. And they're getting to levels where I'm probably going to force myself, just based on the statistics, to pick up some of the names that I've been sort of waiting for on the tech side, where I thought they were overvalued, and now they've kind of come back in as some of these fears get discounted in the market. So, you know, whether it's the 200-day moving average or whatever people are looking at, clearly people are now starting to price in some of the risks from these trade policies, when all of last year, you know, Tesla being potentially the best example, it was all about the upside potential from the new actions from the administration. So this is a much healthier environment. I know, you know, stocks in the NASDAQ are down, the Magnificent Seven are down, but I mean.
All right, how bad is the audio now? This is my old mic from 2 years ago. If this thing works, then these $400 mics suck. Let me see. How bad is this? If not, then it's definitely StreamYard. It's not my mic. Works, then. Oh, it sounds pretty good. It actually sounds good. It's good now, right? Okay, good. It's probably going to get messed up in a second. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here. I blame the tariffs. But anyway, what's his name? Dan Niles is buying now. Dan Niles is buying, which is kind of crazy, right? Freaking Dan Niles, the guy who said his number one position was cash all year, is buying. So I thought that was something interesting to take a look at. Throughout the day, we got 2 minutes until the market closes, but it does look like you have some people that are starting to enter in and get more excited about the nature of these prices right now. Real quick, finishing up on what Vlad said. So they have 3.1 million gold subscribers. They have futures that are ramping up faster than index options. And in the first 2 months of Q1, they've hit 10 billion in net deposits, which is insane because most people thought they were not going to be able to keep like having these $5 billion months, but they had 2 $5 billion months in January and February, which just means the momentum that they saw back in 2024 with net deposits is continuing, and they're not even paying people to bring their assets on the platform anymore. Now it's just kind of natural because they're getting all these gold subscribers. The more gold subscribers feel incentivized to use the platform, the more they're going to deposit into the platform. And so they are getting tons and tons of new money, which is absolutely incredible. So that's the update on Hood. We got 30 seconds until the market closes. I have a couple more things to share with you guys. So let me get through this closing bell, and then we'll get through some of the other stuff that I was going to talk about over the past 5 minutes if my mic didn't decide to participate in the trade war, which is basically what I think is happening. But we'll talk about all that stuff. We got Crowdstrike earnings, and then in 20 minutes, we'll have Jason get on the show. And Jason, I sent you the link. I texted you the link. So Jason has the link. He'll be on in 20 minutes, and we'll get into the technicals. All right, here we go. 4 p.m. One of the most volatile days in the stock market in the month of March is now closed. What a freaking day. We are done playing the beautiful game of the stock market, at least today. The S&P 500 tried to have a good comeback towards the end of the day. It was decent. It wasn't amazing. It was going to be amazing when it went green 20 minutes ago, but it ended up being red for the day, down 1.18%, 576, bounced from 572. NVIDIA, wow, look at that, dude. Ended the day below 116. Got all the way to 119 from the lows of 108 in the pre-market, could not close above that 117.50 level, now at 115.99, but still up 1.69% of the day. SOFI, 1250 to 1309, but still down about 3.45% of the day. SMCI was the winner here, up 9% of the day. I still don't know how to explain that, but SMCI had a good day. Meta was down about 2.3%. The S&P 500 again down 1.18%. Rocket Lab was up 1.8% after bottoming at 17 during the day. Tesla went all the way to 261, came back up to 285. End of the day at 272, down about 4.43%. All these stocks are red, but they were really red an hour ago, and now they're not as red, which is good. Some of them actually ended up green. Like Nubank tried to go green in the last 5 minutes, ended down about 0.05%, still red on the day, but at least not as red as it was before. Nubank was below $10, which was a 0.5 peg, which is kind of insane for Nubank. But that's where it was a few hours ago. Apple, 235, that was down 1%. That was green for a little bit. Then it went down. Grab was in the low 450s. Now it went back up to 469 on the day. It did hit 480 at one point. So again, one of those names that couldn't finish out the day strong, but still bounced from its lows. And then Robinhood right here ended the day down 1.42%, 46.22, even though it hit 48 at one point. Palantir, 84.40, green on the day, 1.17 again. At one point was at 88, bottomed at 78 intraday, and currently right now at 84, ending the day green. Bitcoin as well, 86,865 on the day. Crowdstrike is the earnings that we're going to be taking a look at. We should be getting their numbers very, very soon in terms of what we get from Crowdstrike. And as soon as I get those numbers, I will share them with everybody today as well. Okay, so what happened today in the markets and what's actually going on? I think Chris had a really good explanation that I kind of summed up in this post that I think makes a lot of sense. And so I want to go through this real quick for everyone who missed that explanation. And this should kind of give a better understanding of what's happening in the broader market, or at least what did happen today. So the headline is why Donald Trump wants the market to crash. And it's a pretty simple thesis. Number one, we have $7 trillion of debt that we need to pay off in the next 6 months. If we don't have to pay it, we're going to have to refinance by the end of 2025. The Trump administration obviously does not want to refinance that debt at a 4% rate. The 10-year at one point was 4.8%. They definitely don't want to refinance it at 4.5 or 5%. So they want the 10-year to come lower. How do you get the 10-year to come lower? Well, markets need to show weakness and growth. Doge has to be perceived as working, so you cut off spending, which gets the bond market excited. And then interest rates obviously need to come down. The way to create a growth scare in the United States, quite frankly, is to have massive uncertainties, aka tariffs, which can slow down growth in the short term, get the bond market to start buying bonds ASAP because of how scared they are of touching stocks, which would cause yields to fall, which is what we need to refinance the debt. And that brings the Fed the authority to lower rates, which continues to bring yields down. Where is the 10-year right now? Well, if you take a look at the 10-year, 4.2 spiked up a little bit at the end of the day as equities spiked up, which again shows the inverse relationship. As equities go down, bonds as equity goes down, bonds go down because people start buying bonds, which causes the yields to come down. Why do people start buying bonds? Because they're selling off their stocks and they're afraid of being stuck in the stock market. So although conventional wisdom says tariffs are inflationary, which theoretically they are, and the 10-year should be spiking on more tariffs, you had people in January saying we would get to 6 or 7% on the 10-year because of these tariffs. It's the opposite. It's actually going down because the tariffs are bringing so much uncertainty to the equity markets that people are selling their stocks, which is what we saw today with fear and greed getting to 15, and buying bonds, which is exactly what the Trump administration needs to happen in the short term in order to bring the refinancing costs down, which essentially means short-term pain for more long-term gain. It's actually a hell of a thesis. And it makes a lot of sense right here. I think when you put it together, it's exactly what Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, has been trying to do. He's been very vocal about the fact that they need the 10-year to come down. When the 10-year comes down, mortgage rates come down. That unlocks the housing market. Why does the Trump administration care about the housing market? Because what did Trump run on? He ran on a campaign of getting housing prices to come down. In order to get those housing prices to come down, you need to get the 10-year to come down, and you need to get rates to come down. The only way you do that is if it feels like buying a 10-year bond is better than buying NVIDIA. How do you make it feel like it's better than buying NVIDIA? Well, you create a lot of uncertainties in the market, and one of the ways to create those uncertainties are tariffs. Now, I don't think tariffs are the only reason that Trump's instituting them to get the 10-year to come down, but it is part of, I think, their plan and agenda in terms of how to refinance this debt at a lower rate. You need inflation to come down. The way to get inflation to come down is to get people to stop spending. The way to get people to stop spending and stop buying stocks is by making us feel like things are uncertain. And that might be one of the reasons for why the 10-year is falling, which is also an explanation for why the stock market is taking a little bit of a hit. NVIDIA right here, 115.99. After hours, it's at 116. Palantir, 84.40. S&P 500 up about 0.15%. CrowdStrike, we don't have their numbers yet. They might come out at 410, so we might have to wait about 5 minutes to get those numbers. But CrowdStrike is going to be reporting earnings today. And this is kind of what Dan Niles said. So when he was asked about if he's buying today, this is what he said. Again, this is a guy whose number one position was cash going into 2025. It's getting so ridiculous that even he's saying it's time for me to start buying.
That's down 6% year to date. That's nothing. And so the tariff situation will get sorted out because as Sarah, as I said, well, I'm sorry?
Are you buying?
As I said, well, I'll probably force myself to buy some stuff, later today, and names that I've been waiting for.
Right. You mentioned a couple. When it comes to consumer, I mean, we've been making a list of retail sales, personal spending, jobless claims, certainly sentiment. Are you willing to touch things that are in the consumer realm right now, or do you think that this noise is going to create a pause in activity?
No, I mean, I'm willing to look at them. The thing that bothers me more is, don't forget, Walmart and Target both had issues in the month of February before all of this stuff started. And so I've been already worried coming into this year, which is why my scenarios were up 10% to down 20 and cash was a top 5 pick. So I was already concerned about something like this occurring. And so you combine that with AI issues in terms of CapEx and what that's going to be. There's a reason NVIDIA was down 8.5% the day they reported their numbers. That was before all this stuff got started.
And the tariffs only added to that uncertainty. So again, Dan Niles saying, yeah, he's buying because now these prices are finally getting to the multiples that he's been waiting for all year. Again, this is a guy whose number one position has been cash. And quite frankly, he's been right for the first 2 months of the year. But even he's looking at this market and saying, all right, now these multiples are starting to get so compressed because the market's actually factoring in the threat of tariffs, which doesn't mean NVIDIA is going to go back to 140 anytime soon, even if we have a little bit of a bounce. But it does mean that NVIDIA is starting, or at least market participants are starting to recognize that the 10-year treasury bond is kind of competitive with NVIDIA, which sounds insane because NVIDIA is growing at 80%. And I know it sounds insane, but that's what the market's telling us. They are buying bonds, selling off NVIDIA, which is what Scott Bessent wants to be able to get that 10-year to continue to go down. We don't have CrowdStrike earnings yet. We do have Box. They are down 10%. This is not Dropbox. This is another company that does, if I'm not wrong, like cloud storage. I know Dropbox also is cloud storage, but it's more in the consumer. Box is more of an enterprise cloud storage company. $4.8 billion market cap. They are down 10.9%. Their earnings shows us a beat on the top, 42 cents EPS versus 42 expected, 279 million versus 279.2. That's a beat on revenue as well. So they beat on the top and the bottom. That is Box. We also had Ross Stores, which is a consumer company that had earnings today. Their earnings are, they missed on, they're down 3%. They missed on revenue, 5.91 versus 5.95 expected. They beat on EPS 179 versus 166. I'm sure probably a ton of you have shopped at Ross before. But their earnings are out. They missed on EPS, beat on revenue. They are down about 3%. And then finally, before CrowdStrike, we have Credo. Credo Technology, CRDO. I feel like I've heard of this company, but I completely forgot what they do. They are up 10%, market cap of about $9 billion. Beat on EPS, 25 cents versus 18 cents. Beat on revenue, 135 versus 120. So they beat by about 15 million on revenue as well. Cool. So Credo, Ross, and Box. Box down 10%, Credo up 10%, Ross down about 2.79%. CrowdStrike is the one in about a couple minutes we're going to get results for, and then we'll see what happens with CrowdStrike. MSTR during the day was very volatile. It was also down. MSTR, oh wow, it's up 10% of the day. Well, it was down at one point, like I think 12%, so that's a nice reversal, but end of the day up 10%, currently down after hours about 0.4% right now. CrowdStrike, oh boy, we're red. We're red on CrowdStrike. We are red on CrowdStrike. We are down 5%. At one point, it was down 7%. Let's see what the crowd numbers are. That looks a little red. Again, it sucks to report on a day like this, even with the bounce. We have a lot of uncertainties. I'll be live for Trump. He has his joint congressional speech tonight. at 9 p.m. So I'll be live to cover that. I'm sure that will have implications for the broader market as well. CrowdStrike here. They beat on the top. They beat on the bottom. Wow. 103 versus 86 expected on EPS. That's a hell of a beat on EPS. That's $1 per share that they just put up. I don't think they've ever done that before. Revenue, 1.059 billion versus 1.04 billion. That's a beat as well. They beat on the top and the bottom. Stock's down 6%. It has to be something with guidance that's messing with them. The whole Y2K scenario back in August with the code malfunction, I think the market doesn't care that much about that anymore. So it has to be something else. Trying to get a little bit of a green candle at that 370 level, but they are down about 4%. Let me check Palo Alto real quick. Palo Alto is up 0.35%, even though CrowdStrike currently is down about 6% here right now. That's a nice beat, though. That's a nice beat. That's an incredible beat. What did you guys say on the poll? Let me see if you guys said it's a bull trap or not. 65% of you said yes, it's a bull trap. 35% said no. All right, so still have people that are skeptical, which I think you should be skeptical of this bounce that we're seeing, but definitely some skeptics here. Down 5% currently right now on CrowdStrike. Looks the same as NVIDIA, correct? It looks the same as NVIDIA as well. MicroStrategy right here, 275. Boxes at 33.50. CrowdStrike down about 5%. Let me pull up their actual website, just get some more details on this, and then we'll keep going from there. In terms of summarizing the moves I made today, I know the audio was getting kind of stupid, but again, I bought Hood, bought NVIDIA, sold Reddit. That was the majority of the moves I made today. Vlad announced a bunch of new things in that JMP conference, 3.1 million gold subscribers. Futures is ramping up faster than index options, and they already have 10 billion of net deposits. So they have a gold event coming up in March. I mean, if maybe we see below 40, but the growth is just unbelievable. And given the guidance that he's giving us for Q1, I mean, they're going to have a really monster quarter again, which means if it stays at this stock price over the next 3 months, the PE is going to get below 30 or 35, which is going to be, that's just going to be absolutely insane for Hood. So we're going to see how that one ends up playing out. SMCI up 1.46% after hours, and CrowdStrike is still down 6% after hours. I'm trying to pull up their press release. Do they have it? All right, here we go. Here is CrowdStrike's press release. And this is what they had to say. Let's pull this up real quick, and then we'll get Jason onto the show for Technical Tuesday. So ending ARR, 23% year over year, 4.24 billion. They added 224 million in net new ARR. They achieved full year subscription revenue of 3.76 billion, 31% growth year over year. CrowdStrike and Palantir are some of the only software companies, SaaS names, actually growing above 30%, which is why they have these crazy premiums. Record operating cash flow of 1.38 billion and record full year cash flow of 1.07 billion for the fiscal year of 2024. George Kurtz, founder, says delivering 224 million of net new ARR, which brings our ending ARR to 4.24 billion, places us firmly on the path to our 10 billion ending ARR goal. As businesses of all sizes rapidly adopt AI, stopping the breaches necessitates cybersecurity's AI native platform. We are seeing strong momentum in our next gen cloud security identity protection business, surpassing 1.3 billion in combined ending ARR with 97% gross retention. Wow. And accounts adopting Falcon Flex, adding over $1 billion in quarter deal value. Customers are increasingly consolidating on the Falcon platform as their AI native SOC for today and tomorrow. Gross margins were 77%. GAAP loss from operations was 85 million. Net income was about 92 million. Cash flow was 347 million. And they have 4.23 billion in cash currently right now for CrowdStrike. This is pretty incredible, dude. These were some pretty incredible results. I mean, those are the results you kind of want to see from a SaaS company like a CrowdStrike actually showing off that they're able to grow. It seems like the Y2K stuff did not affect them at all. Continuing growth momentum. Any of their ARR didn't also get hit. I think it was like $60 million barely got hit from that scenario. And it seems like they're able to recoup a lot of it on the back end with the money that they're generating from net new ARR as well. CrowdStrike right here is down still 6.7%. Market doesn't fully love it. Also, ChargePoint had earnings today. This is a EV charging company. Market cap of 290 million, stock of under $1.66. Obviously, it's a penny stock. That one is up 6% after hours as well. Looks like some of their earnings were not too bad, at least on the day. Okay, one last thing I want to say to you guys, and then we'll get into Technical Tuesday. We did get some news on Zelensky and Trump. It looks like on the quote-unquote State of the Union today, Trump is going to be announcing the minerals deal, And sources are telling Bloomberg sources are telling Reuters that Trump and Zelensky are signing the mineral deal before 9 p.m. when he addresses Congress, and that they will make the official announcement today in the joint session of Congress, which makes it kind of seem like they were always going to sign it in the first place, and they just went through some theatrics before they ended up being able to sign it. Obviously, that's going to be a good thing. That gets us much closer to peace with Russia, so it looks like this minerals deal will be signed. This is probably another reason the markets bounced a little bit. They were happy that they finally saw some progress of peace, but tonight at 9 p.m., Trump's going to be talking about this deal, and he's probably going to take a lot of credit for it. But nonetheless, the deal is seemingly going to be passed, which is overall good for the broader markets. So that's what we got in terms of an update from Zelensky, Ukraine, and Trump. All right, cool. Those are the earnings for today. That's what we got in terms of stock market news. Let's get into technicals and see what the heck's going on across this market and try to get some analysis on what levels are the right levels to engage in buying the dip. Let's roll the intro.
We're on, brother. Happy Tuesday. Guys, what a freaking week, man. What a freaking week. That's all I got to say. I feel like we've had like celebrations. It was dark days. Not going to lie, for a little bit there.
I feel like we're still in the dark, bro. We barely bounced.
We'll see. Like it's weird. It's definitely weird right now. I will say right now, and by the way, you guys, Amit, like this was like a month ago. Was it about a month ago, Amit, when you texted me like, hey, where are we going on S&P? I'm like 578 or something. He's like 5,700. Here we are. Was it a month ago?
About a month ago. Yeah.
So we're close. We're very close. I think we're going to find out very soon. We are on the cusp, honestly, like on the cusp of potentially doing some real damage, but maybe not. But I think you have to take your shots, right? I bought a bunch of stuff today. I was only planning on buying one stock. I really hate when like everything seemingly bottoms at once, and I'm like, really, because I didn't want to allocate so much, but I bought a bunch of stuff, man. I bought Tesla. I bought some of my Redwire before earnings. I bought
some hoodie. You bought
some I've definitely bought some hoodie. I bought some. I'm looking at my thing. I bought some mostly Tesla. I bought a little Boeing. I bought some SOFI.
Not only did Jason buy some hoodie, he literally published his own 13F today.
Dude, I mean, it was important. Like, if we're gonna be on, right? Like, you have to put your disclaimer out.
Hold on.
Right?
So you own 12.5 million shares?
There it is.
I don't know why you're spending.
Derek, here I come, bro. I got you.
Okay, so let's get started with technicals. I think you had the right idea last week. Let's start off with SPY, and then we'll keep going from there. And
dude, this is how the market.
Dude,
that's my stand right now.
Look at what I'm using a mic from Toys R Us. Like, that's how bad.
Dude, this is actually an expensive arm.
I think the tariffs are affecting our microphones in some way, dude.
It's possible.
It's Canada. They're mad. They're messing with us today.
Yeah, you just broke your mic too, by the way. You unplugged it.
Of course I did. Of course I did.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, you ready? I'm ready. Okay, so this is what we call the SPOOs in trading. So these are the Qs and these are the SPOOs. Don't know why, but that's what we call them. I'm going to start out. Just do another quick check. So weekly, technically, we extended just barely, but this red line, if you don't know, this is that 200-day simple moving average. I think this becomes really where like the main level. So from a technical perspective, and this is interesting. So see this candle where it has like this big, this is a weekly candle. This is called a wick at the bottom here. This right here is January 13th weekly like low. If we have, let's say next week post NFP, if we're like this, then this is going to be actual damage, like real damage to the stock market from a technical perspective. But we're not there yet. What I will say is that the today's bounce is encouraging. But if you didn't notice, and here I'm dropping into a daily level. So we breached it just slightly. We did tag that 200-day simple moving average, which honestly, again, it's not a big thing. And what I would like to see here is really just a little bit of consolidation into next week. So I think the market is clearly like there's some tariff scares. There's a lot of uncertainty, but we can't forget that we have GTC coming March 17th. We have Robinhood S&P inclusion on Friday. We have what else do we have? We have
hold on. Can you hear me? Is it good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, we don't have Robinhood inclusion on Friday.
That's what you told me.
We have a potential inclusion. Don't tell everybody we're getting in.
I'm joking. But now we have, my point is that we have a couple catalysts on deck that are where we are at the market. We're at an actual potential level where we really could bounce. If you're looking, and I'm going to zoom in just really quick to a very small time frame. This is intraday. So we bounced this is that same blue line, that 575, just over that 200-day simple moving average. As we came into the close, it actually looked like, whoa, what's going on? I'll tell you guys right now, Friday, what just happened was that this rush of buyers on Friday right here, those same buyers literally just closed their positions. This was a $4.5 billion order to buy on Friday. And today at the close, exactly the same. If you don't know how to do this, this is a $4.5 billion order to sell. MOC means market on close.
But
so
this was probably like a hedge fund that did this. Who do you think?
It's a weak-handed person. Well, so what it is this was a 4.5 billion order to buy on Friday, literally right here. And it just, I think they're a little shaky when they saw break even or back to where they were hoping that it would pop and continue on. They just basically took their money out. So I actually would not read too much into that is my point. If you're worried about this close, Friday, we do get a lot of news. We have Powell on deck. We have a lot of economic data, a ton of Fed speakers. What I would say is if we do end up what we call sweeping the lows just slightly, I actually don't mind that. So I'm okay here. And I'm okay actually if we go a little bit lower, as long as we can close higher after that. So if you don't know me, I use this thing called like non-farm payrolls as a gauge to tell me where the trend is. Now we're going to get that on Friday. What this is here is this is a handful of other non-farm payroll levels. And the reason I use this is because this is a fundamental event that actually does create your technical levels in the future. And so what happened was that this day right here, shoot, sorry. I gotta move this over. So this day right here, this is November. So this is the first Friday of November. We actually priced the market back into October, November levels. So at this point, we've essentially taken back the entire election move.
Yeah. Real quick, Jason, before we continue, it looks like we got some breaking news out of Fox Business. Howard Lutnick says President Trump may roll back Canada and Mexico tariffs tomorrow.
There you go.
Dude, at this point, he's just like, it's just a rinse and repeat. You say there's going to be tariffs, and then you take him away last minute.
I do have some short trades on. I don't know if anyone's interested in that stuff, but I'll go into this. So I think, right here, pricing the market back to where we were in October, November, you can just look at this simply as that, right? Number one, we do have on the right-hand side of my screen, this is a big old volume shelf. This is volume by price, essentially. So we do have a lot of like interest in the market around these levels. And for now, that's actually holding. And again, I just have to think about it like, are we in a better or worse place than we were in November, October? I think we have a little bit more clarity, but can it get a little bit worse? It possibly could. But I think Friday, not this week, but next week. So next time that we meet, we're going to have a very, very crystal clear picture to me of where we're going to go from here. And, you know, seasonally speaking, mid-March is about, it's about time to start rallying. So we'll see. We'll see. That's SPY. So what I will do is I'm going to take a broader view really quick. Actually, let me go back to the SPY. What's important right now is that if we do get a bounce, and we haven't had to use this term in a long time, but there's still a potential of what we would call a dead cat bounce. I'm going to use these NFP levels again. So we need to get back over 590, really. I think that, you know, last time we talked Tuesday, and this is at the index level. Last time we talked on Tuesday, it was like every day kind of needed to be taken as its own, one day at a time, right? And I think we're very much still in that zone, right? So as long as we're over 578, I think that we go to 588. But to continue this trajectory and really completely say, okay, we're out of the weeds, it's got to be well over 600. So the problem is that I need to be, if I took a measurement from this swing high, and let's say today is the lows, right? I can still bounce. The market can still bounce all the way up into that like 600 type level and actually come back, fail, and then we would be looking for a higher low to get locked in, something like this. That right there is the ideal trajectory, but that means that you still don't have to be in a big rush, in my opinion, right? That's just me. But I don't think you need to be in a big rush. If we do get up, we're gonna have some pullbacks, and as long as those start to lock in higher lows, that's what we're gonna want to see really from here. And again, if we open, today is a telling day. So if you open red and you close the day close to green or well off the lows, I think that's it's something you can be cautiously optimistic, but you're not out of the woods yet, I think is my point. So we could go a little bit lower, but this actually looks pretty encouraging, especially with the catalyst on decks that we didn't have really last week.
Yeah, so the TLDR is like buy the dip, expect more pain when buying the dip. But if you're expecting like Robinhood at 31, you're not.
Yeah, don't. And then last week I talked a little bit about this. This is the 10-year yield, right? And how I wanted to see it actually start to go up. We did see that go up a little bit, and this is the 20-year plus bond. If you're not familiar with this, bonds have an inverse relationship to the yields. So if bonds are coming down, that means that yields are going up. And this is important right now to kind of give you a better gauge of where the safety trade is. So right now, what you're seeing is that you've seen a lot of safety trades happen where the long, but we call this the long bond. The long bond has been coming up pretty aggressively off the lows. We hear about the 10-year yields pretty like coming down pretty low. That's because people are running to safety, right? You can still see this in staples, but then you look at today. Look at this chart today. This is the staples chart today. It's nothing but red on staples all day long, right? Actually, utilities is not really one. Excel. I'd say I'm just going to stick with staples right now. So staples is a safety trade. Yields is the bonds are a safety trade. All day long, these were coming down, and these are kind of like my initial tells. The next one is still, it's going to be gold, which hasn't really been acting like a great safety trade. Although I will say, you know, it's topping out. If this is a lower high on gold and this starts to come back down, that's actually pretty constructive to me. So that would mean that between the yields and the bonds and staples and gold, if gold starts to come back down, then I think money starts to come out of the safety trade, or the, like your, I don't want to say utilities necessarily, because utilities have a lot of power and stuff like that in them. But if those things start to come down, that's definitely more encouraging. You're sharing your screen right now.
Yeah. So the reason I'm sharing is because, well, stocks are pumping after hours, and it goes to the point you're making, which is that once the market starts to feel it's time to get back into equities.
Yeah, pull up TLT real quick on your chart. And someone was talking to me today on a space, right? We do Twitter spaces, like TLT is going, it's triggering long for me. I'm like, wait, because these are the things that I've been monitoring. If I want to know, it's a process of bottoming, right? Number one, the shorts have to cover, and we're seeing the shorts cover, right? Number two, the safety trade needs to unwind. That is the bonds, that is staples, that is a little bit of gold, right? Then number three, people have to get long, right? It's not just short covering isn't going to be enough. We need actually net new money coming into the market. I'm seeing two of those things start to play out. I'm still not seeing net new money really come into the market yet. We're seeing short covering rallies like Friday, right? And a little bit of today. We're seeing a little bit of the safety trade start to unwind just at the beginning, but I'm not seeing a lot of net new inflows into the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's why we're seeing equities start to get some bumps after hours. For those that are wondering why are stocks ripping after hours, it's because of this one thing. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said President Trump may roll back Canada and Mexico tariffs tomorrow. If you were on the market open today, Trudeau spent a good hour basically critiquing Trump and saying they're going to hit back with $150 billion of tariffs. A lot of this is just political theater going back and forth. And if they get rolled back tomorrow, which I don't really think Trump wants to put on 25% tariffs on our biggest allies, that's good. That's good for stocks at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we start off with
this is an internal. So this is a market internal. These are net flows, right? So NYSE volume up minus volume down. What I wanted to show you here is like, see, this is that 4.5 billion inflow on Friday. Then we had some net outflows. Today, we actually started the day, like here's zero, right? So above zero, you have new money coming in. Today, we started low and like just below zero. We had outflows all day. So even though we were having some pops in the morning, I wasn't buying it because this was telling me, hey, look, we have some, it's net bearish, right? So
they're not seeing your screen, Jason. That's weird. Can you just reshare it? I can see it. That's weird that I see it on, they don't see it. They just reshare it again. Dude, the tariffs are messing with us, bro. They're messing with my stream every day. They are messing with my stream. Share it again. Let's see if it works.
What screen? Is this screen number 8?
Okay, let's see, guys. I can see it perfectly. I don't know why you guys.
Oh, you know what? It's Thinkorswim.
No, they can't see it. Yeah, it's on you. It's on you.
It's Thinkorswim. So like if I move this window, they'll probably see it.
Well, yeah, they see the actual chart now, but not the internal stuff you were showing.
Right. I can try and look at it. It's VOLD. There it is. So this is
Wait, no, they still don't see it. They still don't see it. Yeah, I'm looking at YouTube. Dude, what are the aliens doing?
Might be your StreamYard.
No, it's not my StreamYard, dude. Because look, if I share, wait, hold on, let's test right now. If I share my screen, can you guys see my Weeble? Let's see. Can you guys see my Weeble? Let's see. Dude,
all right. Yes,
I can see it. Okay, so it's you. It's you. Thank God. If it was me, I was gonna cry. I don't want it to be me anymore.
Just type in VOLD on your screen.
VOLD.
Yeah.
Okay. There it is.
You have to share your screen again, though.
Yeah. No, you can. Wait, can they still not see my screen?
I can't see it. Your screen's not up.
No, it is up, dude.
No,
my screen was up for a little bit. Now they can't see it. What the fuck is happening? No, now it is my fault, dude. What is going on, bro? What is... Okay, let me share my Twitter. Do you guys see this? Let's see. Let's see.
I see it.
You see it, right?
I see it.
Okay, they can see the Twitter.
They can see that.
There, so there's no reason. So now I'm going to share your screen. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to see your screen. Give it a second. No, they can't see your screen. What the heck is going on?
That's right. I can walk you through it.
No, well, you're the one doing the TA. We got to be able to see your screen.
I'm so good at this, dude. I can walk you through it.
That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Fuck. How do we try to resolve this?
I can drop out and come back in.
Yeah, I mean, try that. Maybe that works. Try that. Dude, what is going on today? This is insanity. In the morning, in the afternoon. Restart the stream. Well, let's see if Jason coming back. Let's see if that fixes it.
Did you roll the intro though?
No, I did not roll the intro. It's not an internet thing either, guys. It's
StreamYard.
It's a StreamYard thing. But like, why are they seeing my Twitter, but they can't see your screen? All right, let's see if that works. Okay, give it a second.
Hey, the lag.
It's like a 15-second. No, they still can't see it. Oh my God, what is going on? Let me share my Weeble again. See if they can.
That's right.
I can.
I swear I literally can walk you through this. Don't worry.
Dude, I can't do TA on 50 stocks. There's no way that's not.
Dude, just type in VOLD for a second.
No, I'm there. This is VOLD. I've been on it. Oh no, it's VOLI. I was like VOLD. That's not on Weeble.
It's not.
No.
Pull up Trading View.
I can pull it up on TradingView. But this doesn't solve our problem. We have a longer.
It does.
No, it doesn't solve our problem.
You're so worried.
Oh my God. I'm just annoyed, dude. Like the whole day it's been being stupid. The whole freaking day.
There it is. Right. So far this last did you guys know that he has TradingView? Like this is wild. Just it's official now.
Give Jason access to your screen. How do I give him access to my
It's not Zoom. We're not in a Zoom.
We're not. Oh my God, it's so annoying.
So these red lines, so that last big, so this is net flows, right? So where it says on the top left of the screen, UVol minus DVol, that's up volume minus down volume. This is what we call a market internal. So today's downside, like that's net outflows, but this is the small little blip of like, okay, potential decent, is that the outflow today, even at the close, is less than yesterday's outflow. And so this is what I also want to see for confluence. I want to see the bears getting less bearish. And this is what that's showing right now. As long as this is like, if the selling pressure is weakening from a day-to-day perspective, that's what we're going to want to see. And like, you can see that if you look to the left on the screen where it has February, there's selling pressure down. Then all of a sudden, and each one of these is a day. There's selling pressure down right above February. And then there's a lower day of selling pressure that the bears are starting to get exhausted. And then boom, green. You get a couple selling pressure, but again, less selling pressure until eventually on, this is my pulse, on the flip side, if you looked at it again, it was the buying actually started to exhaust a little bit as well. Right around the 15th of February, it kind of peaked out, and then all of a sudden you have this, right? Don't worry, dude, I got this.
No, but now it's not showing my screen either, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's a bigger problem. It's not even showing my screen anymore. Like fucking StreamYard, bro. It's just being stupid. How do we?
Right, let's go back to your Weeble.
That's probably, I mean, if it's not showing TradingView.
It is showing your TradingView, by the way.
No, it was showing it, but then
it's showing it right now.
Now it's showing it. Now it's showing Weeble. I don't know. Do we? Okay, how about this? How about you stay and talk to everybody? I'm going to reboot my entire Mac. That's like the last option, right? Like, see if that works. And so I'll leave you here. Yeah, Jason's just going to take questions.
I'll be back StreamYard. I use Restream.
Restream sucks too, but StreamYard sucks.
You know, the only reason I have Restream is because I liked it when people or on the right-hand side of the screen and not the left-hand side.
All right, I'll be
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in
yeah,
3
guys.
minutes. Jason, answer
You
questions.
guys, my eyes. Yeah, he doesn't have dark mode even on his Twitter either. But oh, good. Oh, this didn't shut down. I thought it was going to shut down. Anyways, what did you guys buy today? Sing us a song. I bought Tesla. We had 255 or 250 was the Tesla downside. I got to 260. So it's like one of those days where it's probably close enough. So I bought a little Tesla. I can't even show my screen if I wanted to. 260s. Tesla. We'll see. I have a good amount. Oh, this chat is going so fast. I have a good amount of VOO. So this here now, like as long it's literally so VOO, you can buy a little bit if you're doing like your annual DCAs like twice a week. I think that's good. Rocket Lab had a huge recovery. Oh, you guys like Boeing? Tell us the secrets. I like Boeing. I got Boeing today.
Let's see if this works. Let's see if it works.
Oh, he's back.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. No, it doesn't work. We're cooked, chat. We're cooked.
He's so worried.
What do you mean worried? It's like we can't see the screen. It's not about being worried. It's about just like,
dude, I got this.
You don't have anything. What are you talking
Just share
about?
your Weeble. I got this.
I'm the dude, but even if I share my Weeble, it's not going to stay shared. Like that's the problem. It'll go in and out, just like it's been happening. Well, it's here for now, but what if do you have Weeble downloaded? Could you share Weeble?
Why? No, it's a Chinese brokerage, dude. I'm not using that.
It's not for the brokerage, for the freaking just like charts. That's dude, that's so annoying, bro.
I don't like Weeble charts.
Oh wait, what do you have Robinhood Legend? What if you use Legend? What if you shared Legend? Could that work?
Potentially.
I don't know how much you chart on Legend.
Never.
Maybe Legend saves the day. But the problem is if his trading view isn't showing up, why would his Legend show up, right? Like it's still a browser. Oh, the reason Weeble's showing up, dude, is because it's a desktop app. I think that's why it's working for me. But if I showed a browser, then it would stop.
Oh,
working.
are you sharing? What are you sharing?
I shared an actual app, not a website, because TradingView is the website at the end of the day. TradingView does have a desktop app. Maybe if you download the desktop app real quick, that would take a couple.
Dude, that's not gonna be quick.
Yeah, it'll take 5 minutes, but Chrome is the problem. I don't
that's possible. What do you use?
I'm on Chrome. I mean, but it's
Explorer?
your screen. Huh?
Explorer?
I mean, oh, now it's working. Oh my God, it's working. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, that's so ugly on Explorer. Dark.
Oh my God, we're good. Oh, oh, so it was Chrome. It was freaking Sundar. Freaking, he can't do anything, bro. You can't freaking like the stocks fall. Oh, wait, no, sorry, it's working for me. It's not working for them. What am I saying? Oh my God. It's working for me, not for them. Never mind. Sorry, Sundar. I was just kidding. What the fuck, bro? Oh my gosh.
Amit's over here freaking out.
I was about to go off on Sundar and shit. Now yeah, never mind. That it works for me, not for you guys.
Yeah, it's weird. I see it sharing, but it's not coming through.
Dude, do we have to cancel today's Technical Tuesday? I mean, we can talk about the markets for another hour. I know, like,
yeah.
But
restart StreamYard. He did restart StreamYard. Well, no, because then he'd have to close the whole stream.
I can try that. I can open up a brand new stream. I don't know if that's going to work. It doesn't seem like that's going to work. I'm trying to think, is there any way you could share? Is there something in my settings that's messing it up?
Clearly.
Okay, do you guys see that? I just pressed a couple different buttons. No, they still don't see it. No, they see it. Oh my god, they see it. They see it. Oh my god, it's working. Oh my god, we did it. Wow,
He's all, I just pushed a couple buttons.
Talk about Indian tech support, baby. Okay, so you know what it is? It's this.
I don't know what it is, sir.
No, you know what it is? I'm gonna take a picture of this. It's freaking StreamYard. They added this stupid beta feature today. I'm gonna show you guys, and it's called demo scenes. Okay, and this
we used to call this a PEBCAT error or an ID10T error.
I had to like click a new demo screen to get it to show up, and now it's up. I hate StreamYard so much, dude. I like despise them. Actually, like I really don't like. If they were a stock, I would buy so many puts on it just for that. Like I hate them so much. Wait, is it not working again?
About this arm.
Hold on. Let's see. Wait, it's gone. How's it gone now?
Well, you hit the button again.
Okay, now it's back. Now it's back. Now it's back. I'm not touching anything anymore. It's your screen, Jason. That's it. All right. Let's start with Palantir. Goodness gracious.
Did we get the high level view though? There was some point in the stream where it was working and then all of a sudden it was not. I don't remember. We got TLT.
The TLDR is you are waiting for safe to go back to risk, and that's why you're buying right now. Yep. Yeah,
safety to kind of come back. Palantir, which I know, I bought it again a little bit, but it counts. You guys let me back into the club. Not that I wasn't in the club.
You bought one share of Palantir on Robinhood, which is why I forget.
On Robinhood. So this is interesting, right? So we have some confluence on Palantir, and I think, I never really looked at it like this, but Palantir might be the one stock. Forget Bitcoin for a second. Palantir might be like the one stock that is a good gauge of growth appetite in the market, I'm thinking. And so like if this does bottom, which by the way, so we have this level here, it's about $80. We lost 120, which when we were breaking through 75, 80, we're like, hey, look, we're going to 120. That's just what's happening. It's very much that exact situation. Why is this stupid line? Dude, I don't want that line on here. Whatever. All right. So this is the 50-day right here on this blue line right here. I don't know. Again, we don't know that it's out of the woods. What I'd like to see is you'd like to see this come up and then actually come back down and chop a little bit more and then come up. And that would actually give you kind of like this nice little pattern that nobody can really deny. At that point, all the pattern traders are going to see it and be like, oh, we're ready to roll. But a couple pieces of confluence. This is constructive. So it's actually very constructive, which is why I blew my load on Palantir today. It's very constructive. What I just did was I just measured from this, what we call swing low to swing high, which is like from a long-term perspective on a daily scale, the low here to the high here. This box is 50% right in there. It's very constructive. It's not out of the woods yet. And I think this goes for almost like the entire market. It's all constructive. What you want to see though, is you want to see this climbing back over, call it like 89s, give or take. We did not close the day, or we might have closed the day right here. So that's the box, but I'm going to move it, make it very precise right here. So this is where some people, I don't know who you are, but we're starting to add and very quickly sold it right here. And we're getting right back to that same exact spot. So technically too, by the way, we do have something called a double bottom. So again, on the daily scale, this is a double bottom. Exactly. What you can take from this in the near term is that the bears are having a hard time. The bears lost the fight today. They really tried to get it down, but they couldn't. So think about it this way. There was every reason for Palantir to break lower today, technically.
Yeah.
But the fact that it didn't means that the bears are exhausted, number one, and or some bulls showed up. One of the two. We're not out of the woods yet because we closed literally right on resistance, which meaning like where these people bought, they sold it again here, right there from yesterday, and they technically sold it again today. So tomorrow, and I think the rest of this week this is crucial, and this is just like the entire rest of the market. So if this level, call it like 90s, just to be safe, close, like if we're able to like reclaim that well over 90, then definitively in the near term you should be looking at least at 103, which might be a weird thing to say, but this is where we get into the market where it is one day at a time, right? Because at 103, again, you have to be a little concerned. A good bull always knows where the bears are hanging out, and this is where they're going to be hanging out. So for continuation, what I would do, I would actually expect this to come down, and then I would expect it to come back pretty heavily, and I'd want to see it hold and then break through, right? So as long as we can get over this area here, I want to see this, which is currently what we would call resistance. I want to see that resistance break, and then I want to see it act as support right in here, and that's going to really lock in some very constructive behavior if we can see that. On the flip side, if we don't see that and we see something like this, and then we fail right again, the same exact $80-something pivot, that's not going to be good. So again, why we want to take every day, kind of like one day at a time right now. The bears definitively could not push it lower. So what that means to me is that it has to go higher no matter what. Even if you're bearish, you want it to go higher so that you can get more sellers, which is why I'd say, hey, be very careful when you get up here because you don't want to see it pull back too much.
Right. Do you think at all today's little bounce on Palantir and tech in general, like to you, is it a dead cat bounce, or is it a bounce on levels that make sense?
So I think last week wasn't a dead cat bounce, and we talked about Amazon right here. So Amazon at 250. This was last Tuesday, I believe it was, right? It was like, yeah, Tuesday. So this was the strongest recovery. This is the definition of a dead cat bounce, right? And what I said was like, it can go higher, but I literally said, and you can go back in the preview or the last one and say, watch out 217, because this is where the sellers were, where the old buyers rather, where people were buying. And this is important to know, like when you're looking at charts, I'm using like a broader view. So I'm looking at a lot of time on the chart and say, hey, look, what were these buyers? Are these buyers going to act as buyers again? Are they going to get long down here? And then when we get here, are they going to get longer, right? Or is that prior support going to turn into essentially resistance? And that's actually exactly what happened. So that is by definition, and I'll play this forward. The next morning, I think it was the next morning, maybe the 2 days or something like that after we got in, and it literally right there. So that's not what you want to see. On the day when you see that, it's like, okay, the bulls are not strong enough. So the bears were not strong enough to press it down, but the bulls were not strong enough to carry it through support or through resistance rather, sorry. And then it proceeded to actually go lower second day, right? So in fact, that was not it. So this is not what you want to see. So this is a dead cat bounce, right? And then, you know, at this point, you know, hey, look, it's probably, you don't know, but it's very possible that it actually has to go even lower to be able to break through that resistance level, which I do believe is what ended up happening, just slightly. And this red line here, that's the 200-day simple moving average. And that now we're live, right? So now we want to see, okay, so if this was not low enough to really entice the bulls, and now look where we landed, right? Yeah. It's kind of funky, right? If this was not strong enough. And yes, this is a 200-day simple moving average, but I really don't use that as like dynamic support and resistance. You guys know how I use it. I use it as a barometer of like, okay, I want to see the distance between the simple moving averages widening, right? So widening, and I still, by the way, I like Amazon for the year. So like this is the distance here, the distance between those simple moving averages getting bigger and bigger, right? Now where we are is that it's contracting. So this 20-day below the 50-day, the distance is contracting. So this is going to come in. This is not done yet, right? So this is going to come in. The 200-day is going to sit like this, and they're going to get really tight. So this could take a while to play out unless we have some kind of fundamental event that changes everything. But once those get tighter, I think you have to be really cautious. So Amazon, I think it's kind of stuck right now. Excuse me. But I have on my, and since I'm on it, right? So 188 is actually that prior all-time high. I still like this for the year, but it can come in lower for me. And look, if I like it at 225, I like it at 250, whatever. You should really like it sub 200.
Which we got today for a little bit.
Yeah. So I came into the day short Amazon and covered my shorts from a trading perspective. But again, swing high to swing low. I got a little confluence here. So this is that last, real low up to this last high. This yellow line is a 50% retracement right in here. If we do lose this, and again, look at my volume shelf, my volume profile here. This is 186s. So if we do lose that, call it 196 area, we're very likely going to see 188s, but that's a buy. So this is kind of where this is kind of where we are in the market. I think that even if this is not the low, I think we're pretty close, dude. Unless we have like some serious, like, holy crap, actual bear market, which right now we're just in a retracement or correction. It's not like bear market.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to
S&P is
say
down 2% year to date, which is, S&P. I mean, like the broader market.
Yeah. I don't think that this is correction territory just yet. We'll have to see next month, next couple of weeks. But this is if you're bullish in general in the market for the year, this year, then you do need to start thinking about deploying some cash or capital. That's just what's true, right? But you have to, it's never easy. Amit and I mess around all the time. It's like, I wish it was really easy, like, yo, this is the bottom. No, it doesn't really work like that. It's always hard. It is what it is, right? So let's
talk about another stock that you've been messing around with as well, Tesla. And
I bought Tesla today. So last time we talked, Technical Tuesday, it was 250s, right? And where 250 comes from is it's like right in this volume shelf right in here. There's a this right here, 255 is, I believe, the Trump bump, if you will. Again, if I do, and this red line again, 200-day simple moving average. If you use 200-day simple moving averages as your support resistance, you would have gotten long. What is this? Last Friday, and you would be red today. So this is, again, I don't like to use that. What I will say, and then I'll do the same measurement. So from here.
Also put in the chat if you've been buying the Tesla dip as well.
No, this is my first buy. Oh. I've been long Tesla, but this was, I was only trying to have one stock. But right here, this little wick today, we call this the golden pocket. So in between 0.5 and 0.618, this is your what Amit calls the male astrology. This is called the golden zone, but I like to use a little thing called the golden pocket, which is between 6.5 and 618, and that's exactly what we hit today. So yes, I had 250s, and I still look 250s might not even hold. What I said in my group was that Tesla buy levels are below, for me, and it's a wide range, so you know it is what it is, below 265 down to potentially 225. So that's a big range. But this is like where I'm
What compelled you to buy today?
It's one of those things where like, okay, yes, I have 250, right? But sometimes you just get so close, and it wasn't a lot. You just get so close, you're like tomato. I don't, if I'm too overly precise, especially with equities, I usually miss it, right? I don't know if you saw, like today, I posted some. I actually in our group, I said Robinhood limit order buys in the pre-market, $42.38 or the next levels I'm gonna buy. The freaking thing hit $42.11, and I was watching it. I was like, "Are you joking?" I was like, "My order's about to hit. I'm about to start getting filled. I'm about to start." What? What? And it turns on. I'm like, "Are you joking right now?" So I had to I kept the order on, but I had to just chase it up, and I'm like, "This sucks, man." But it is what it is, right? Because I was getting excited. But intraday, I know, hey, look, I'm very close. And again, it was just like today, I took a short day trade on Tesla here, 270s. And then I saw this little stutter step, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then at the same time, I saw that the flows on the market, the inflows start to come in. And I'm like, oh, this could be it. Because they were pretty negative this morning, and all of a sudden they turned around, and we saw some net inflows intraday.
I mean, we had fear and greed go below August levels.
So yeah, and I don't look at the VIX per se, but I will say that I know, like, when the VIX is over 25, which we got to like 26, it's usually a decent spot to nibble. Doesn't mean, again, it doesn't mean we're at the lows. And Tesla can bounce up. Do you still have your puts?
No, I don't have any sold puts on Tesla. That was like in January, bro. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but they were for February. Did you close them?
They were for January 31st. They were for after earnings, 375.
Oh, I thought they were for February.
No, I bought 10 shares at 288. I didn't buy as much, but I mean, I bought a little last week. That's it.
Well, I bought this dip a little bit. I just hate when I feel like everything's bottoming at once, because I had all these plans for Robinhood. I'm like, really, guys? All these other things are going to come into my range. But Tesla, again, not out of the weeds either. So it actually needs to get over 300 to be out of the weeds. Really, 311.
Is it concerning to you at all that they're now doing 0% APR on Model 3s? Because to me, that's a signal that sales are slumping in Q1. And we both know it's more than a car business, but if Q1 numbers suck.
Dude, I think it's just right now we have an opportunity with a couple catalysts in front of us. GTC, I think, is going to be here. So again, Tesla needs a catalyst. There's a potential catalyst here. The market needs a catalyst.
Well, what's the catalyst for Tesla outside of
it's just the AI mega conference, right?
No, but GTC, I don't think that's a catalyst for NVIDIA, not for Tesla.
I think for AI as a whole, and they'll talk about what's happening.
I don't think that's going to pump the AI sector. I think the catalyst for them is June, the robotaxi launch in Austin. Wow. But I just don't know if that's enough of a catalyst if they have really shitty Q1 numbers, along with the fact that Elon's in the White House all day, right? Like, that's how you can make
that's the one thing that's like really, really Elon. Like, you can't just tweet about Tesla like once, like one time. I see all your like spaceship launches just one time.
Well, he did say Tesla will grow their earnings 1,000% in 5 years. He said it'll be hard, but
yeah. Well, technically, look, we were at the beginning of this level. Look at this giant retest here. Technically, it was a level where at least I'm probably going to get a bounce. I don't know if it's going to be a big bounce. If it goes any lower, though, this is going to be in a very choppy kind of zone. And this is that volume shelf to 225 right here. That does take it a little bit lower. It's not down here. If you think it's below 200, you just got to put in the garbage can. but the yearly. Here's from monthly. At that point, right, here's a monthly scale, and I'll just clean this up. What we do from a technical perspective is usually I'll take these highs, and if you want a little bit of confluence, so basically it turns into this area as your potential buy zone right in here. So this area, and I would really just cut it right at maximum here. So that's, I guess that is down to 200. I don't think it's going to get that low.
Okay. I guess now it's a question of if people want to take that chance there. Let's move on to NVIDIA, but real quick before NVIDIA, let me just share this quick clip by Lutnick about
you might lose the screen share.
No, I think I figured out how to do it, so I should be good. All right, here's him about tariffs.
That Americans are still being killed. Now, both the Mexicans and the Canadians were on the phone with me all day today trying to show that they'll do better. And the president's listening because, you know, he's very, very fair and very reasonable. So I think he's going to work something out with them. It's not going to be a pause, none of that pause stuff. But I think he's going to figure out, you do more and I'll meet you in the middle some way. And we're going to probably be announcing that tomorrow. So somewhere in the middle will likely be the outcome. The president moving with the Canadians and Mexicans, but not all the way.
Just to clarify,
So that's why stocks are pumping in the after hours, and hopefully that can help Tesla as well. Wait one sec. Let me. Okay.
So I think, you know, in general, for Tesla, just to wrap this up, there's a lot of interest. This is a weekly chart, so there's a lot of time on here. I think anywhere in this box, you probably want to, if you like Tesla at all, this is really like in this area, potential buys. I don't know that it's going to go up right away, but you know, this is from that perspective, you kind of have to be interested for sure.
Okay, can we do NVIDIA? I now have 800 shares of this thing. I've been buying the dip. Do you think these levels can hold?
What the hell is all this? So it was weird. I tweeted the other day. I was like, it's a weird day when all of a sudden NVIDIA is like the most ugly chart that I could find in the market. I think you can because it has a catalyst, right? And it's just right on one of those levels where it's like, dude, you're very close. Very close. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember, but there's like SOFI and stuff like that where we have these broadening formations.
I mean, SoFi was stuck in that for a couple of months, right?
Yeah. And I think this is where you kind of need to see NVIDIA. So it is at the low end of this, if you want to call it a downward channel, but I would call this more like broadening right now. So this is a daily scale. We are well below the 200-day simple moving average. My biggest concern, it's not really that big of a concern, but I know. So what's happening here is that a bigger move is brewing. A bigger move is definitively brewing. So remember, I use these simple moving averages to define like momentum, right? When they're, you know, the distance between them is growing, we know that we have a big move coming. The setup on NVIDIA, this cannot go any lower.
I mean, don't say that because it could, right? Like, it could theoretically. Anyway.
Yeah, the thing is that if it does go lower, you're definitively looking sub 9, like you're looking in 90s.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Or you're looking at some serious damage, sub 90s. You're probably looking at a Bitcoin failing at 120, going down to 80, or Palantir failing at 120, going down to 75. That's what you're looking at, right? Because this is, at the end of the day, I kind of feel like it's going to trade like every other $100 stock. It was decisively neutral until it wasn't. And I think today it tried to claw itself out of the weeds. And so this is the same kind of setup as the market. We're like right now, again, this is your downtrend for NVIDIA. You usually want to go long at the bottom of it, right? And it's good for a bounce. But how much of a bounce, I think that is where like time will tell. Yes, this setup, these are going to get very squeezy. Like we're probably going to have all your simple moving averages like literally sitting on top of each other very soon. And again, I can't say that it's down or up yet. Technically, most people would just look at this and be like, oh, it's down. But it's not really how this works. I've seen this happen more times than I can count, where it looks down and then all of a sudden you have a pop, like something like GTC, you get over 130, nearly 140, and you come back in, you set a higher low, and then kaboom, right? It's very possible, but even if that happens, that's where I would get a little bit more concerned if you're still not out of the weeds. But from a trading perspective, look, it's actually pretty good. If you're going from 100 to 160, that's a damn good move, right? So that's what you have to see, and that's where this becomes like, this is kind of it. Thankfully for NVIDIA, it does have this catalyst. If I zoom in a little bit, here's that low, right? So again, you're very close. You're toying with death at the moment. I think that today is one of those short covering days. I don't know that it's a net new money long day, unless you're buying NVIDIA for the 1 cent dividend coming.
Have you been buying NVIDIA at all or no?
I did buy NVIDIA today.
Really?
So yeah, I did. So like I said, I feel like it was just one of those things where we call this, it looked like a liquidity grab, right? So like it's this level, it's literally 112. You come in, and the second that it gets back over this 112, I'm like, all right, it's not going down anymore. It bounced, it came back down. I'm looking for it to reject intraday, right? Because I'm a day trader, and a swing trader. But as a swing trader, I'm very active in the market, and I need to see how this is developing intraday. So over here, I actually was like, nope, this is coming back down. And it came back down, but the thing is, it came back down and it made a higher low intraday and started to bounce. Over here in this like definitive box, I'm neutral. But I know where this pivot is, and I know that it's like 113s, right, from over there, because you monitor all the big names anyways. And look, like the reaction off of this is just, it's pretty strong. I know that there's a catalyst in general from both economic perspectives on Friday and GTC mid-month. So I'm like, okay, well, the market's going to remember this sooner or later, right? Very soon. And so maybe, this is close to it, right? So as long as now, right, as long as this continues to hold over 113, I think you're all right. Ideally, you'd like to see the last low hold, which is 116 from here. I don't know that actually happens. And honestly, this can sweep even a little bit lower, but as long as it's able to continuously, like, I don't want to see this too many times, right? If this sweeps lower, you don't want to see that too many times. Like twice is it really, on the third attempt, maybe, but definitely not 4 attempts to swoop these lows. Then it's over and it's just going lower. But right now, this is just the first one. And I would define this as a liquidity grab, right? Like it would just be like someone wanted to break these stops so they can, it's not really how that works, but it just, if you had a stop there, they got stopped out and they instantly were like, no, I want that back. And they bought it back. I don't know who they is, but when I saw that, I was like, all right, I'll grab this because we have a catalyst on deck. And I think you can be, I think you could take it for a bounce, right? And if it actually bounces, look, it's not bad. It's not getting over 130s right now. I don't see that happening, right? So 123 we know is going to be a key pivot. That's your $3 trillion mark, whatever that is, right here. So it's going to hit that level, but NVIDIA has been one where like we've always said, hey, look, below 123, you could probably be in accumulation mode in general. And I think that's just kind of where it is. As long as it was like holding that last low, it's not going lower right now. If it loses that, it'll probably go a little bit lower, but it's 97 down to it's to 87. It's in here. That's your next stop. If this area cannot get back over essentially like 120s, mid 120s and hold. And if it does hold mid 120s on a bounce, then that's what I'm saying. Like this whole setup becomes very different. And you can easily see a big move is coming. What direction is still TBD.
I just got an email from my accountant for how much taxes I owe.
Congrats, dude.
I've never paid this much in taxes, bro. He said it so nicely too. He's like, "Hey, Amit, here's the attached summary of your return." And then he hits me with these numbers. So,
is it? Oh, you mean extra taxes? Is it over?
No, it's just federal and state.
I don't know how you do it, but
it's a lot of money, bro.
More or less than a quarter.
It's a lot. It's a lot. All right, can we do hood? Let's get into hood.
So 42 to 38. It's this little box right here. Again, this volume shelf, like $40, give or take. I want to see that hold, but I know again today it's the top of this little area, right where those like last sellers were. That's where it bounced last time. This is where Amit bought. And we just saw it's exactly the same thing, right? It's exactly the same thing. You have that breach just below, but dude, the second that you reclaim it, you're like, oh, it's coming. In general, 42 came from literally right here on my end. I think it was all this. Yeah, 42 right here. That was where I really want to like, all right, we're going to get serious soon. Mind you, I still have more to deploy if I can. I don't know. I'm thinking about I sold some $50 puts and I sold some $40 puts. Let me see them. But they're green now. This is for April, which I kind of outlined that was the plan anyways. But I got impatient, and I was like actually kind of worried the other day that I wasn't going to get assigned. I think it was like this day. I'm like, I might not get assigned on my shares, so I bought the stock anyways. And then
Can you just clarify for people, because they actually think you own 12 million shares?
Yeah.
Guys, I don't think he actually owns 12 million shares, but he owns a lot of shares. It might not be 12 million, but it's a good
dude. I put on I was like, hey, I bought 2,000 shares, and then it just reminded me like, and I was short MSTR. I was like short like 20 grand MSTR, and I just remembered like, dude, dollar amounts are there's nothing good that comes out of saying how
100%,
like
100%.
Like I just got so much shenanigans. Like, really, guys, it's not.
But you've been buying. So Hood is by far your number one position.
Yeah.
Can you give me can you give me a quick summary on why it's your number one position, and then a quick summary of, is this the place to buy based on the technicals, is what you're saying?
So the truth is nobody knows, right? Nobody knows if it's the place to buy, but I know is it a place to buy? Yes. Right. It's a place to buy. I think crypto is a concern. You know, if we should have already gotten an altcoin rally, if you will, which we're not. It's not over till it's over, but I am concerned about crypto in general. Things can turn around very quickly. I think we had a very good quarter, and some of the concerns will be like, is that the top right of the quarter? But long term, and this is where it is, I'm like, there's certain stuff that I could buy. That's cool, like safety trade, whatever. I'm into it. Tesla's very volatile, but Robinhood, it's just one of those. I hate to say high conviction because that doesn't make it good. It is one of those ones where it's like, I actually don't think that they're going to benefit from the wealth transfer. I don't even think that that's going to happen. I think somebody else is going to benefit from that. But it's about that Gen Y or is it Gen Y?
Gen
Z.
Alpha.
Gen Z and Gen Alpha. This is where their home is, right? Because I'm your millennial. I can't even use Robinhood. That's true, right? So, and I'm the one that's going to get the generational wealth transfer. And I'm telling you, I don't use Robinhood today, right? But will I be able to? Maybe. But it's about the next generation of investors going into their peak earning years, learning on this platform. And when they learn on this platform, dude, it's a moat, right? Like you're not going to be able to go over to Thinkorswim. You're not going to be able to go over to IBKR. It's going to be like completely foreign. And they're just now beginning to roll out so many new levers, right? And eventually, sooner than later, I can go to Robinhood sooner than later. Not yet, because they don't have trust accounts. They don't have a lot of stuff that I need. But very soon, I'm sure of it, right? And Vlad is just on a mission, man. I think that as I look at this, Robinhood is actually, in my opinion, still going through growing pains, right? To this day. I know they had this update on futures. I'm just telling you right now, I don't think they're going to do it very good with futures. I think, yes, I think futures is a perfect example of growing pains. They do have futures, but I'm an active trader. I pay over $100,000 in commissions every single year to Schwab, right? I think that I'm the customer that they want, but I'm telling you, they can't get me yet, right? I mean, 100 grand in commissions or more every year is as a customer, it's a good target, right? But there's reasons that they don't know, so they don't know what they don't know, and they still kind of at some points in time act like a good software company that's operating in the financial space. So like nuances to futures, very specifically, they use overnight margin, and that's $15,000 per futures contract that you need, right? So if you have $100,000, you can maybe trade 5 futures contracts liquid cash, whereas all the other active brokerages are $500. They use intraday brokerage margin, which is a different kind of requirement. And just making little switches like that, dude, they didn't do it, but they didn't know that they needed to do it. If they did do it, it's a big flip, right? Taking the futures ladder and applying that technology to SPX instead of keeping it with futures. They should have taken that futures ladder order flow and literally slapped it on the options chain in Legends, right? And that, again, big difference. Can you slot? There's little things that they can do that they just don't know. Vlad, if you're out there, I'll come work for you, dude. Like I would actually go work for Robinhood. But there's a lot of tweaks that you can still tell they're in their growing era. So there's still going to be growing pains. My concern with the margin, with the futures thing is like, look, even if they do get people to use futures and they get to like using futures on Robinhood, those same people are quickly going to learn that there's other places that will use literally like 1/20th the margin requirement, and they're going to lose those customers because they're going to leave if they do get it. So that's
so even in the face of all that, the technicals are screaming buy for you still.
It's screaming like this is the spot, right? Because it's one thing, it's one little thing, right? But there's so many more things that they're doing long term. They're gonna get it right. They're gonna get it right. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. So again, a lot of little levers that they're gonna start pulling. I mean, Robinhood over Coinbase, for sure, right? Yeah, like so many more lines of business, like areas where they can make money. And again, it's still going to be areas of growing pains, but it's growing.
Okay. Last quick question on Hood. Then we'll go to Rocket Lab. Upside target, downside target in a month. What are you thinking
for Hood?
Yeah.
In 1 month,
which would be after the gold event, which based on what he was saying today at the conference, he sounds pretty damn bullish. He literally said,
so he's making the rounds, dude. So he's making the rounds. I think that there's something brewing.
No, but he said he got quote unquote giddy after talking with his team last night, and he started walking back and forth because of how excited he was about this event.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that Robin could throw up a gold subscription that totally takes out Coinbase One, right?
Okay, so upside, downside target in a month. What do you think? I think upside to me is 60, downside is 35. That's pretty simple for me. If it really gets bad, 35. If it really gets good, back to 60. That's what I would say.
Why are you so bearish, dude? I just don't understand. What's the deal?
Dude, I bought more HUD today. I bought more options and stock. I got more. I'm bullish. I don't have 12 million shares like you, but
80
in a month.
So that's
don't give us
super
opium,
stretch.
bro. Be realistic. Like
it's not realistic.
In a month, Jason, 80. Like,
bro, let's be real. They also were 35% higher 17 days ago.
Yeah, but markets re-rated, right? Which is normal. It happens. I don't think they.
Yeah,
dude,
well,
Robin
if the
doesn't
market,
go to 80
so the
unless
thing is, if the market quickly decides that was an accident, it's just going to go right back to where the trajectory was.
Well, that's why I said 60. That's why I said 60. I felt like that's reasonable. 60 is if it was an accident, we go back.
Okay, so within 2 weeks, 57s, right? But and I know you don't think, I don't know that they're going to get into the S&P 500. If you have those funky catalysts that go down, dude, it's 80.
I don't see it in a month. I see it by the end of the year, not in a month. It'll be a little tough in the month. I hope to God it happens, bro. I'd be really happy. Don't get me wrong.
What's a month? Is that April?
April 4th, yeah. Like maybe the market turns around, this tariff talk, all that stuff. But then I think we rebound to 60 or 65 at the top. I don't think we.
No. So the trajectory would be like this, right? Up here, pull back.
But I don't think the technicals matter
like
for that
this.
target. S&P has to be at all-time highs to get to 80, which means we got to get to 6,200. Which I don't know.
So if the market does turn around, it's going to be very quickly. April, back to all-time highs.
All right. Well, look, your boy Tom Lee said we're bottoming this week, and he's actually calling for a mid-year top, local top. So I mean, that could happen theoretically.
It's possible that we saw the lows for the year, but look, it's level to level, right? So right now we got to it's 57, and then we'll pull back. And what's going to happen is that we're going to retest this kind of like 50s area. And I want to see $50 support. I want to see it. I want to see this $50 support area be really defined right in here. So we're going to hit this. And if I see this, it can come up, come back down. And then if we get this, that's your first trajectory. So maybe, 61, right? At 61, then you got to be like, oh, okay. That's where the bears are hanging, right? The bears are hanging just over $60, not 60 even, 61 and change. The bears are hanging tight right up in here. If they go away, then they're gone. And I think they would start to cover down in this 50s anyways. So that's where I'm like, dude, they might be here. I want it. I need to see $50 support be defined. And we're below 50 right now. So that's what has to happen first. So initially 53, potentially 53. So we'll take this big spike, whatever day this is. It's got to get over 53s. I'd like to see 55s first. I'd like to see 55s and then have it come back down and hold in between 53 to 50 and then go sideways and hopefully up. That's the trajectory that I'd like to see.
Yeah, and I think we also would need S&P inclusion to make that happen. So.
We would definitely need S&P inclusion.
All right, let's get to some other ones.
It doesn't think. Dude, this is the only stock in the market that matters. I don't understand.
All right, we got a lot of requests. Let's try to be a little
I have
I know you have to leave in an hour, right?
Oh, I do. Is it? No. 7 p.m. Eastern.
So an hour and a half. You have 90 minutes. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. So we got to move a little bit quicker. So let's go. Let's do Rocket Lab. I bought more at 1950. What are you thinking about this?
I think we charted 16 or so last time. Dude, it got there and it was like instantly kaboom. And I'm like, what? Like, was that wild? So we charted 16 last time, which came from right here, 16 and a quarter. Oops. That was from last Technical Tuesday. Interesting that it bounced so hard right there, but I don't like where it got rejected. So I think this is still sideways a little bit. And it's stuck in this little box at the moment. So breather is ideal. It's a higher low, but it's also a lower high. This is how you define consolidation. Higher lows and lower highs. So this is your little where you are. I don't know that you have to rush out and buy it necessarily. I did rush out and buy some red wire because that was way low and they have earnings coming. But this is where it starts to consolidate. As long as you see it start to keep making it, it's one thing to make higher lows, but the only real issue here is that it is also lower highs at the same time. So this is consolidation to me.
Is this bullish right here after earnings, seeing this consolidation?
That's neutral. It's neutral as in like something they're waiting, right? They're waiting for this is gonna go sideways like this. It's getting really tight. And then one way or the other is gonna break. I don't know which one. But it's neutral. If it's over, so 2130s, if you see these daily closes, like if you see this going up and then you start to see daily closes over 2130 is going higher, right? That's true. So that's your kind of like line in the sand. 2130 comes from that prior all-time high way back when, right? Right now we're technically underneath it. But you know, it's Rocket Lab. It could.
Did you buy more on the dip the past week or no? At 16.
No. I bought, like I said, I bought red wire because I had a catalyst today and recently. So catalyst in terms of like earnings coming. This is a bigger dip for sure. I know that they're ordering and doing. I think they're doing well.
Okay, so same question on Hood for Rocket Lab. Upside target or downside, or is it just too sticky to really say?
So things can change like very quickly. If you're,
because this thing was at 30 for 28 to 30 for basically a month, and then it broke down. And I got a lot of people to buy in, including myself at that time. I mean, so it's.
So, I mean, they said we're going to Mars. But at the same time, we have this Doge thing happening. So I'm like, well, are they going to be efficient or are we going to Mars? Which one is it? I think it remains like a theme for the year.
Do you see it going back to that 30 level range that it was at a month ago from the technicals? Or it's got to conquer 23, 24 and like
21.34.
That's fair.
21.34 is your kind of like you're back on the mend. You're over 21.34, you're on the mend. Below 21.34, I think you can be in like slow accumulation phase or is that like mentality? But slow because if it breaks down, it could easily be 11s if something funky happens. But right now, I mean, again, this is a very steep downtrend. So like what I would say is like the bigger the slope is in terms of like steepness of your uptrend or downtrend, the weaker it is. So like this is a steep downtrend. Technically, if I do it this way, it's not bad. I think you go higher, but you got to be careful at 24s, right? So if you get over here 24, then you're going to come back down. You want to see it hold that 21.30, and then you're going to be back to 30s, which again, even from a trading perspective, that's a lot. But this is the trajectory that you're going to want to see this take. You will get slapped right in the face around 24. It's just what's going to happen, right? That's where all this prior consolidation was happening. People are going to decide, do they want more or do they want to sell it, right? So that's what these people, it's always like, here's the story, right? Like you always have to think of, okay, this is what happened. What are these people going to do? And that's why I said, literally right here. Is this a large position for you?
No, it's like 500 shares, nothing crazy.
Oh, you have more.
I'm thinking of making it a larger position, but also wondering. I've heard some takes over the weekend of this sucker's going back to $10. It's egregiously overvalued, and you've got some people just saying it's ready to break down. But I think that the price action has been pretty constructive past week.
Look, you want to know what bad looks like? I think you should, right? So if you're going to be a good bull, right, you got to know what it's going to look like if it breaks down. And what it's going to look like is potentially retest this 23s, probably right into that 22 and change, come back down, fail that 2130 again. That's what bad's going to look like. So this is your trajectory. I think you can get in there, and you might even get a little blip here. This is bad. So what you don't want, so again, remember, like one day at a time right now. So 1 foot in front of the other. 2130 is important. The big shelf is about 23, right? So if you do see it really climbing over 23 with strength, great, right? Like you're probably all good. But if you get up to 23 and you reject, and then you reject again, if you have, like, meaning this is a rejection, right? So its price goes up and then you hit that 23 level and it falls, and then it goes back and falls with a lower high below 2130. That's a danger, Will Robinson. Yellow flag on the play. If you get this kind of situation.
Okay. Can we do SOFI, and then we'll do SMCI after SOFI?
SOFI, I just had to do it. I mean, I just, like, it was 14s. This thing was like in 12s, 12 and change. I was like, I kind of just need to, because it's gotta bounce. It doesn't have to bounce, but I'm like, dude, come on. That's just, it's a bit much. It might not be.
When I saw it at 1250 today, I didn't buy, but I was like, this thing has to bounce. Like,
that's what I thought too. I was like, it has to, right? But I mean, it didn't have to. But I would have been fine, because I wasn't like an insane amount. I would have been fine holding it and then buying it again in the 11s. But yeah, I was the same way. It's like, dude, it just, like, when I look around the market, I honestly, in my group, I've been saying, like, I can look around the market and I'd be like, yo, a lot of this stuff is just shenanigans. Like, a lot of this stuff just does not make any sense to me at all.
Yep.
Like, listen, I'm not a Google bull by any means, but that stupid chart is really got me, like, almost being a Google owner, because I'm like, that's dumb. And it had a pretty big bounce today. But anyways, so what I'm looking for really, so this was kind of like that level. We want to see it back over 14. We're not, right? And so the reason for a dip buy on something like this, to me, and again, one day at a time, it's like, I don't know, but I saw this bouncing. I'm like, okay, if this does continue the trajectory, where does this bounce? It's going to bounce back into 14s. Bad looks like this. That's what bad's going to look like, right? But between 12 and change and 14, I mean, there's a lot of sky above, right? So it's worth the shot when I see something like that. And that's kind of how that happens, right? But now we're not out of the weeds yet. I still have these people. It's always people. Mostly it's just Amit, but whoever else is out here, market participants. These people that bought here, do they sell? Or did they buy it again? And can this reclaim back into those 14s, right? That's what good looks like. So either way, good, bad, or whatever, this looks like it's a good bounce spot. That was the logic and a lot of stuff today. And we can only go level by level. For certain things, like in even hood, I'll just be honest. Even if hood just completely breaks down below 30s, below like 38s, I don't have a problem trimming that position down to underweight and getting longer way later. Because I know, like, at some point, like, it might have to take a breather,
right?
And it could be an opportunity cost. So I don't have a problem with that. It's always going to be a core position. It's just very overweight right now. So at a certain point, it'll be equal weight in my portfolio. Anyways.
Okay, can we do SMCI, which was up 10%, and then we'll do Google after SMCI. But
okay,
this one was up big today, and I don't think anyone really knows why. Maybe the technicals can explain why.
I just still think I know you just said that you think GTC is only for NVIDIA. I feel like the market is thinking like So what's true in price action is what the market thinks, not what is actual, right? Like actually true. And I just feel like the market remembered GTC is coming. Technically 33. I did not buy this, by the way. Did any of you guys buy this? I'll look at the chat. Anybody buy this SMCI?
Yeah, put in the chat if I didn't ask you guys that. Has anyone buying this like 35 to 40 range? I don't think anyone's been selling.
Is Steve still on?
Steve's Steve's I think he'll say it's not his ego, but it's his freaking ego. He is holding this thing to $70 because he wants to see it happen.
Well, so 33 was kind of like that first area where it was like, okay, it's interesting. I think it was sub 30. It was like, okay, it's undervalued. And again, we can just kind of see, again, here's like where that consolidation was. Technically, it's just another spot to bounce. I don't know. The thing is that like, oh, dude, is this a short?
I don't know. You tell me. Is it?
What's definitely not out of the woods yet, and I'm not really like where it stopped is right in the middle of that prior consolidation. So here was that. Here was you're booted out of the NASDAQ, right? We reclaimed that, all of that. So, okay, cool. Mission complete. We come back in. You kind of test a little bit of overhigh. You sit on that 50-day. It's a very volatile stock, man. It's still not. I know it's up 10% today. I mean, how do they factor it? Oh, because yesterday was just so bloody. But it's not even over yesterday's highs yet. I don't think I like this, Amit.
I don't like it either, but it pumped even though NVIDIA went down today, which I think was the market saying.
So I don't know that it's a short. It's still up here.
I wouldn't short it. It's cheap. Fundamentally, it's cheap. It's not like it's overvalued or anything. And the 10K is out, so it's not a fraud anymore. But yeah, the chart action has been horrible.
Did they challenge the 10K?
I haven't heard anyone challenge the 10K yet.
Is that a thing? Can you do that?
I mean, if people read it and they say it's full of shit, yeah, they could. But
so like this is the only. So so this is that last little stutter step. I think right here. More recently, this yellow line is that point of control for that 2 or 3 day consolidation. This is a very minor level. It's not a major level at all.
Oh, that's true. They could have been involved in the Singapore NVIDIA issues. That could be a thing.
What do you mean?
Well, NVIDIA is getting investigated for selling chips to Singapore while knowing that they're shipping them to China. So that's
well, yeah, but they're doing that through SMCI boxes, though. I thought that was public knowledge.
I didn't know that, but I mean that could be a headwind as well.
You just buy SMCI boxes with NVIDIA chips in
it. Yeah. Okay, so basically bearish on the chart, short term.
Is neutral. I think that the market can bounce. I think this 40 is a pivot. I don't know that I don't think it's a major level.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a major level, but you don't want to see it below 38. How's that? Below 38, it's not ready. How's that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Below 38, it's not ready.
Okay, can we do Google and then we'll do AMD?
GOOGL. The Goog's is like, dude, that thing. I've been saying 175 forever, right? Like 175, 175. You get the Willow trade back for free. Not that it mattered, because
it might after GTC. It might, right?
Okay, so all of a sudden, NVIDIA's only. So first, NVIDIA's GTC's only a catalyst for NVIDIA. Now it's a catalyst for Google.
But you said it's a catalyst for Tesla, bro. I don't think it's a catalyst for Tesla.
I mean, Tesla's like probably the most undervalued AI play in the market, right? Like, sorry, I did say that.
The point is GTC is going to talk about
under the radar, maybe not undervalued.
Yeah, I would say under the radar. But have you bought Google yet, or no?
Under the radar crypto, dude, no, because I'm not a fan of Google, but like I can look at this chart and be like, this is dumb. Like, this is dumb. Like, this should not be down here that low. The only reason I didn't buy it is because the last time I did buy it, dude, it just spent so long trying to recover, and eventually it did, but it ended up being an opportunity cost at the end of the day. So that's the only reason why I didn't buy it. Last time I bought Google was like 80s, 80, 89, something like that. And I ended up selling it at 150s, but dude, that was like a freaking 6 or 9 month hold.
Does the chart here
was here all these shenanigans lines? This is where I was buying it, and it did okay, but I think I ended up selling it somewhere in here.
Okay, so it trades at 16 times earnings now. Does the chart plus that fact make this one of the most obvious Mag 7 buys?
No.
Why?
Because the cheap get cheaper. And I think if you ask me here now today, would I rather NVIDIA or Google or Meta, cheap Mag 7, I would still rather Meta.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Ooh, ouch. Did he say that?
Yeah, me too. No, me too. I agree with you, dude. I'd rather.
What about Nancy?
Nancy has no Meta. She still has her Google calls.
Yeah.
And her Amazon calls.
Which, if you bought her Google calls today, you probably got a better price than she did.
Way better price.
Way better price. But I think this is bottoming. I think this is egregious. I think this is overdone. I think this is a buy. I just would rather some other things. I will say this is not a short. This is dumb. It really shouldn't be this cheap. I think it should be back to the 180s. But is that the risk reward that I want? Like I think it's a safer trade. I just said that, safer trade. But with a little bit more limited upside.
There is a headline today that came out. Google is urging the Trump DOJ to reverse course on breaking up the company. I think they'll be successful because I don't think Trump wants to investigate them, and that could be a catalyst.
No, yeah. So like here's this cluster of like from August 2024 sideways price action to October, however long that is. And this is your confluence, right? Like right in here, this is 90 days sideways price. Like these buyers of Google are still alive and well. So that's what happened today. Even though it's below the 200 day, look, I like actually to buy things below their 200 days like normally people are like, hey, you want to buy this on a 200 day? I don't care about that. And I never cared about that. But again, these simple moving averages coming into each other, I think they're gonna like flatten out and eventually kind of like go like this way. And then we're probably at this point, you're gonna bounce the 180s. Then it's gonna come back and it's gonna be 175 again. And this is the trajectory. And then it could be down to 170, back to 175, back to 180. And eventually it's gonna move. But that's the trajectory in my mind. So, well, yes, this is overdone to the downside to me. I don't think it should be 160 something. That's where we have to go. It's got to get over 175 to say, okay, it's going to be back on the mend.
Okay. Can we do AMD?
Didn't get to 90s yet, right? What was your level on AMD? 50?
I don't have
it's 70s.
I don't have a level, but
lies. You guys, he's texting me all the time. He's like, it's $70, sub 70. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't think I've ever sent you a text message about AMD. Texted you about a lot of things, not advanced micro devices. Not that one.
So
it got to 95.
It did. I mean, maybe that's a level. It is. Was that the level that we were looking at? I mean, it's right there. So this is the last low, the low before the very last low. That's where it had to be, but it's not out of the weeds yet. So again, for me, just because it's at a level, it doesn't mean that I want to I don't want to jump in, right? But
Jason, to push back, it's down from 150. Is there not any level of like, all right, it's time?
Look, I just said something very similar on Google, right? Where it's like, okay, fine, right? But I didn't buy Google, and it's not too dissimilar to AMD because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, well, yeah, it's interesting, and no, There's a lot of confluence at this level, dude. I think you can buy it.
What does that mean? Confluence. What does that mean?
A lot of points, like areas where it should bounce, right? So again, no, that's not good. That's definitely not it. This probably gets to 115. And then maybe 120, and then Amit's gonna short it again, guys. Just so you know. Dude, the chart, the
You just don't like this company. I think that's the issue.
no, it's
Which is
like
fair, I get
Celsius.
it.
Look, I like Celsius, but it's down 60%. Celsius down like a lot more percent than that. I just don't think that this kind of recovery is gonna be like a V-shaped recovery, right? Like I just think that look. Probably want to be more realistic where it's like, okay, I think you sell puts on it. It's probably bottom, but is it going to be 200 by the end of the year? No. Like, I don't know why it would be 200 by the end of the year unless something changes, right? Like, at least with the current storyline, I don't see it happening. Could it be 120 by the end of the month? It could. It really could. So that's 20%. It's not bad.
It's just not the risk reward.
That's good. It's not bad at all. But so confluence wise, I think it's a lot of points, right? So like here, prior sellers, breakdown level, right? They're going to look at. So this is major as opposed to like SMCI at 40. It's not really like major support or resistance. This is major. So this is major in terms of this goes back 5 years. This is 5 years, center line. 5 years. It goes a little bit lower. And that was that 85s, right? So I think if you want it, you could nibble this first stop down to $80. It's not bad.
Okay. Can we
there's nothing bullish about the chart.
Okay, can we do Bitcoin? And I would also like to know your opinion on Trump pumping the reserve.
Oh, dude. I saw your tweet on that. Here, hold on. Let me finish. So AMD last one, 104. If it's over 104, okay, fine. It's going up in short order. But dude, no, I can't. I can't even do it.
I just rather buy NVIDIA. To me, it's simple. I'm not overcomplicating it.
Dude. Biddy. All right. So I think Biddy's still the strongest. It's still constructive. This is dominance. Probably going up. So I would be a little bit more bullish Biddy coin than maybe even your alts.
Wait, hold on. What do you think about it pumping to 95 off Trump's tweet and then tanking? That's just a regular day in Bitcoin world, or?
Oh, for sure.
Do you think that this crypto reserve with Solana and XRP makes sense at all, or no?
No.
So you think it's stupid that they're doing?
It's not like those are not stores of value. So why would you have that be a reserve? I think that's kind of dumb.
That's a hell of an argument. They're actually not stores of value. They are legit currencies for the internet.
Right. Platforms, if you will.
Yeah, platforms, yeah.
Do you like that one?
No, I didn't even think of that. That's true. Solana is not a store of value. Like a reserve, oil reserve, gold reserve, those are to store some type of values.
Yeah.
But overall, you think it's constructive that they're doing it in the first place?
I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing, but he wanted to be bullish crypto, right? So I think that's what happened. I love Vlad too, by the way, but like, come on, man, real estate on blockchain, like you're way early. You're like 100 years too early. But
I think that's more possible. Larry Finks talked about that as well, but
dude,
I
it's
agree.
not happening. First of all, I'm a crypto OG. if there's a problem that can be solved outside of the crypto doesn't need to solve real world problems to me. I just don't. If you're solving a physical problem,
That's the problem with you as a crypto OG. It should solve a problem, but you just care about it going up and up. Vlad's thinking about it as an innovator, and that's the difference here.
Well, not really, because that argument has been out there for the very long time.
Well, maybe Vlad's the one who can tokenize assets. Who knows, right? Maybe he can actually.
You know what? No. Assets are already tokenized. That's
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, they are.
Apple is not on the blockchain.
Dude, unless you decide that Apple's on the blockchain and you create it, dude, literally water is tokenized, right? HBAR, you guys, somebody. This is a tokenization blockchain, I believe.
Of water?
No, it's not water, but what they do is they do that.
They do water? What are you talking about?
No, they create like tokenized physical. Like if I want to sell you a quarter of my Red Bull, I would create 100 tokens for my one Red Bull, and I can sell you 25 of them.
Okay, so I see.
But I'm still gonna drink it all.
But if Vlad can do that for real estate or other assets on a Robinhood interface, I think that's where it gets exciting. I agree, it's far away. I'm not saying it's happening anytime.
Yeah, no, but that use case has been there since the beginning. I think it's early. A lot of adoption for that. Okay, so anyways, back to good old Biddy. It's acting pretty good technically wise. So like from here, it's like everything else. It's like it's a good bounce spot. 70s was the level that we talked about, right? Like if you're gonna get like full on, okay, this is stupid. It's 70s. It's 96s. Remember when I said it could go up to like 103 or something and still be not bullish?
Yeah.
Here, so I'll take this down. So here's that first downtrend that we started checking along. And this is, to me, like initially people would have been like, oh, this is they could have said, oh, it's a bull flag. Like at this point, it was more like, all right, you're either going to go weekly perspective. This is a bull flag. As you played this out, it got to, so at this point, it's too long, right? This needed to it needs to hold immediately. It's not going to go. And is that where we are? Then you got the fail. And my concern now still is the new money crypto, because a lot of new money is in here. And so how are they going to act? Are they going to act right? Or are they going to act stupid and just start selling it all? You never know. But don't love it, but I think you still stay in accumulation mode. But it's not like, oh my God, I got to buy it. These are getting tight. I think that this still consolidates a while. I don't know what the actual, this has got a lot of consolidation to do still. This is very choppy in here. This can get up to 99 and be a short. Really could be.
Do you think it's more likely to go to 99 or 79 in the next month?
Probably 99.
Okay, so you're
and then the next day 70 because it's crypto. It's just like we could have it like this. It could be literally this weekend, middle of the weekend, middle of Saturday night or Sunday night when China opens. It'll be Sunday night when China opens. And they're like, oh, we're going to get the Americans. And they're just short, right? That could be how it happens.
The Canadians are too nice to do that to us, though, right? They like us.
The Canadians? Yeah, I don't think they have as much crypto. The Chinese got a lot of crypto, man. Don't let them fool you.
Yeah.
Wait, so 96 is here. So that's this peak. You got to get back over. Otherwise, this is consolidation. So what you're looking for is you're looking for these local lows, essentially, or 200-day around 80K to hold. Somewhere in here. It's a tough one. I think this is one where, like, if you see like a crazy red, you buy it and a little bit, and then don't expect anything crazy right now.
So when it got to 82, you would say that's a buy, basically?
Sub 80.
Sub 80. Okay.
Sub 80. So like if you see sub 70, it's worth a nibble.
Yeah.
75 is worth a nibble.
All right. Can we do Meta?
60. It's probably a buy. Also, a decent spot. So right back to actually like where that last earnings report was, right here where the low is. This is the low of that last earnings report. Here's the consolidation before the report. You're literally right there. Boom. So it's a spot where it can bounce. But again, it's all very much like this. If we bounce, this is what makes it tough right now. It's literally one day at a time. And so like you said earlier, if you're buying the dip, then I think you buy it for and be ready to buy deeper potentially. I just like, this was gross. Like as it's coming down. Netflix was similar. Did you buy your Netflix yet?
I'm never gonna buy Netflix, bro.
You said, you said something like that, and then you're like, I missed it. I should have bought it.
I don't believe in Netflix.
Dude.
Dude, I'm not buying Netflix at $950, bro. I'm not
he
buying.
He literally signed a deal with Netflix for the first After Dark special, and now he doesn't believe in it. And I don't understand.
I'm too loyal to Sundar, bro. Too loyal to Sundar.
So I think this was a good spot for a bounce, right? So I think this area, you'd like to have it hold, but it doesn't have to hold. It's just one of those where like, hey, look, if this is going to be it, you might, maybe it gets into 570s, but again, you're at a level where it's like, okay, it's probably time to nibble. And if it doesn't on all of these, if they don't go and start making new highs, like the thing is, all of it is like, okay, we bounce. Where do we bounce to? You could bounce. If you don't bounce over 680, then you're a little bit in trouble. So if you bounce and you reject at 670s and then you don't hold 640s, that's not going to look good, right? So that's what bad is going to look like, but you got to know. But either way, here or now, these should all bounce and potentially become a dead cat bounce. But that's what we have to be aware of, right? So, if you don't see it following through, it's like buy and trim a little bit and have some more dry powder.
Okay, so before we move on to the next stock, let's do some quick housekeeping. First of all, Jason's Twitter is right here in the chat. He spends every Tuesday with us, even with the technical difficulties we had today, analyzing and breaking this down. So please make sure to follow him there. On top of that, Jason, we can confirm options 201 for this Saturday, right?
He literally just, I'm actually moving.
It's up to you. If you can't do this Saturday, we can do it next Saturday, but it's up to you.
What time is it?
I think the best time would be like 12 to 3. It'll be probably 3 hours.
Let me talk to Mama.
Okay, talk to her. If she's good, then if she's good, guys, options 201 will happen.
You guys see how he does that? He literally just dropped. That's the first time hearing about it.
I had to put him on the spot. I had to make sure he can't say no in front of 2,000 people. Now he has.
Well, I mean,
options 101, the video, I'm putting it right here for those that want to learn more about it. 201 will be with Jason. He's going to bring a lot more depth to understanding the psychology of options, the Greeks, and just more deeper stuff. We talked a little bit about it when we were together in California, so I think it'll be good.
Yeah, don't worry about it too. So like we have advanced stuff. This is not going to be super advanced or anything like that. It's bringing you up to speed. So like a lot of these things, even terminology stuff, like getting to understand options, how they work, very basics, but it's what it's going to be. It's going to be everything that's important and nothing that's not. And we're going to make it as simple, but not complicated as absolutely possible.
Yep.
So you don't have to bring calculators. Don't worry about it. But you're going to leave knowing exactly how stuff works.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll be even good for me. It'll be good for everyone else. So I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be good. All right, so we got an hour left until Jason has to go. You guys can start spamming the tickers in the chat. We're gonna do rapid fire and try to get through as many of them as we can. And yeah, that'll be how we end out today. I think let's do Grab. I heard that one a lot. Or you can do Microsoft first. And then
Yeah, we did. So Microsoft is one that's like, dude, this is falling out of bed. It's a funky spot. I feel like Microsoft wants 375. But again, this might be one of those times where it's like, is it close enough for government work? That's a term. Is it close enough for government work? It's damn close. Look at this. Boom. Ooh, is that an equal low? Holy shimoly. I'm not a Microsoft fan here either, but I haven't really looked at the chart.
this is the only Mac 7 that is negative year over year, right? It's wild.
I don't know, but dude. So I think if you see sub 370, you kind of have to buy it.
I agree, but I also think they're the least.
It's like Google. I saw Google subs 165, do I really have to buy it? Like,
here's a hot take. I think Google's doing more in AI than Microsoft. Is that crazy to say? I think they're doing more in AI than Microsoft.
I think Satya is like, he's not very bullish right now.
He's boring, bro.
Dude, he's like, yeah, but you know, if this doesn't happen, then all this money that we're spending is all for naught. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Dude, let's just be honest.
What's happening?
Sam Altman pulled one under him, and he's pissed off. That's what happened.
I think he's sour. He might be a little sour.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially since Apple's going to beat them, right? But
well, that if they can get Siri out anytime soon. But okay,
yeah.
So
this is a again, it's a spot where like, dude, this is a big like pivot. Boom, 380s. Boom, 380. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm getting pretty granular here. I'm gonna take this low. This is 385. So it's not this low. It's like the lows before. Actually, let's go ahead and take this one. 387. See where we are on the chart. All right. So it's kind of there, man. If we have, so it's even like this. Now I'm zooming in. If 387 holds on Friday or sometime this week, I think this goes back over 4, or at least back like, yeah, I think it goes back over 4. I think it hits that 410, 407. So this could be a monthly trade, a swing trade, if you will. By the way, for options, I think right now your debit spreads are going to be best. Debit spreads, calendar spreads, time spreads, not necessarily outright options because we're coming out of a lot of volatility. Just cautionary. This could be the situations where you actually get the direction right. But if you buy too much time or you don't buy enough time, it could be one of those situations where you actually get the direction right, but you don't make money on the trade. That's exactly this where we are. All right.
okay, can we do Broadcom?
I thought we were doing Grab. Which one is it?
Let's do Broadcom first. More people on Broadcom, then we'll do Grab.
Don't they report right now? They report
In like a week, I think they report. You know.
what?
Let me check. It's not today. It is.
No, it's tomorrow.
It's Thursday. Thursday. Yeah.
I mean, it's technically at a spot. I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce, but then it's TBD. Bounce is not going to be more than 195. Like if you get rejected at 195, that's not going to be. It's not going to be what you want, right? So I think you get there. If you can hold over 195, it's possible that you get into this upper bound here. But again, we're talking about 36 hours of bounce before earnings happens. So you're going to get here and then you're going to probably pull back and then it's going to be showtime.
Okay. Can we do MRVL?
Dude, why do you keep
No, because it's in the semis with Broadcom because you're going to spend time on Grab. MRVL, I think is.
Okay. And MRVL actually looked okay today. So right off the 200, boom, smack. Again, I like 70s better. That's where the major. I mean, this is a big. What's funny is like I look at all the charts. Look at these volume, like the volume profiles on the right-hand side of my screen. I'll just make this bigger for you. It's funny that we didn't really realize how thin that how thinly traded things are way up here. So here's your
real quick, Jason, we got some breaking news. The IRS is drafting a plan to cut as much as half of its 90,000 person workforce, according to the Associated Press.
Oh, dude, you might be able to file an extension now. A couple times.
Dude, who's going to check if you don't pay your taxes? They're losing 45,000. Right? What the? Dude, this is crazy. Talk about Doge, huh?
Yeah, I don't think that stuff is going to hit the NFP on Friday either. Not necessarily. But it's all
45,000 jobs eventually will hit, though, right?
No, because that's government, right? So it's not.
Oh yeah, it's not private. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we get ADP tomorrow too.
Oh, we do?
It's Wednesday.
I might go live early for that. Then that's a big one.
Okay. Yeah, so ADP is kind of like your preview. It's your private payroll.
Okay,
so Mitt doesn't even have his economic calendar on set.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I forgot we were getting data today. I was like, what? We have data.
So this is the first stop, right? So expecting a bounce here off of this prior breakout makes sense. Again, this is where we are. It's like you got to one step at a time. It's a good spot to bounce. I think we're in the clear, very likely, for at least that 36-hour bull market. And then you have to be a little cautionary because Jay Powell is going to come out. Right, NFP is going to hit. NFP might be one of those like wick all the way back down to where we are today after a 3-day recovery or 36-hour recovery, only to get bought up one more time. So like, just be really careful out there. So you could get a bounce here, 98s give or take on MRVL, but again, earnings are tomorrow, dude. So never mind. I don't know what MRVL is going to do because they're going to report tomorrow.
Okay, now can we do grabby grab?
I haven't looked at it.
You haven't bought more grab, bro?
Bro, there's like 2 stocks in the market for me. There's Tesla and there's Robinhood. But I do like Amazon too. But I like it sub 200 for the year. Dude, it's doing what it needed to do. Surprisingly. Are you liking how it's not getting shellacked with the rest of the market?
So here's the thing. This is what's annoying me about it. First of all, I'm very grateful it's not getting shellacked with the rest of the market. That's showing me that like there is a legit thesis here.
Yeah,
it's intact. But on the opposite side, the only reason it's not breaking above 550 is because of the freaking market. So I think once we get the clear to go, this thing's flying at least to the 550.
I don't know that it's because of the market. I think it's detached from the U.S. equity market, right? I think it trades in its own right.
No, right. But I still think it was at $5 yesterday, and then NVIDIA starts falling because of the tariff news, and then it shouldn't fall down because of NVIDIA tariff export controls, but I feel like the algos take it down on the NASDAQ. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, but I guess each one of these is a pretty big. Well, this is what happens when you have these like low dollar stocks. What is that? It's 10%, more than 10%.
Yeah, because dude, if it's detached from the U.S. markets, why is it reacting to tariffs? Like it's technically still not.
I don't know. It's not reacting to tariffs. It's the same price it's been for a month.
I think it should be breaking out much higher from here, and every time it tries, the S&P tanks, the market tech, and then grab goes with it. Nubank, same thing.
Well, China. So I think it's just the emerging markets area, right, and like maybe some like Asian equities. I mean, you got to know who's short China right now. I'm just not really bullish, but actually I just closed it today, so but I might reopen that. This is setting up, but I think the same game plan that we kind of laid out a long time ago stays in play, right? Like you don't want to see it get too deep here. You're holding that little daily area right in here, so everything below 450s, 450 and lower is like, okay, these are like small accumulations.
Yeah, guys, Palantir's up 4% after hours. I don't know why. I'll try to get a headline, but I don't see it.
I know why, dude.
Why? Why?
I bought the share. Who bought? Someone was like PLTR. Is it 4? It's not 4%, dude. What are you talking about?
No, it's up 4% after hours.
Oh,
it's at freaking
okay, but
88.
it was higher than that earlier today.
Yeah, just roundabout. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's what we have on Grab. Can we do
God, that little blip is 4%, huh?
Yeah. Can we, so I don't really want to do this one, but the chat is saying we have to do it. Can we do Big Bear AI?
I can veto something, right?
Guys, if Jason vetoes it, it's Jason. It's not me. But
look at this.
AI.
Look at this little, like, that's interesting. 450. Did you buy today?
Last I bought it was 470. It was like 2 days ago. I didn't buy it today.
Oh, see, dude, you're not even following your rules. It's like, I want to see it going up first.
No, but dude, I bought a majority of the position. Like, my options are still not red, bro, because I bought them in January, which is crazy. But
guys, I don't want to do anything that has earnings, right? So if it has earnings this week, your technical. So here's what's true. Technical analysis is not as important as earnings. So fundamental stuff comes first and technical. So fundamental analysis tells you what to buy. Technical analysis tells you when to
Jason,
buy.
I'm telling you right now, no one cares. They just want to see the TA on BBO. I'm telling you, they don't give a shit. They just want to know what you think about Big Bear. That's it.
I don't even know what it does. What do they do?
They are AI, obviously, and they help bears that are big. I
have a big picture of Winnie the Pooh at home, actually, from Disney, and it's like he's sitting on a branch with this tub of honey. Well, I'm a fan of the Pooh Bear.
What do you think? Is the chart constructive? Yes, they have earnings, obviously, so that's a catalyst. But what do you think?
I mean, it's a retest, right? So big volume shelf here. It is a retest of a prior breakout. So, and I think that's fairly, I say, like a given. I don't know if it's a given or not. So we'll do two things. So one is, here's the prior high. God, look at this chart. Are you guys for real? Okay. So $4.80, right? $4.80. You have one attempt to break through. This is way back when. 1, 2, 3. On your fourth attempt, which happens to be this, you're usually going to crack it. And that's what happened. This is the daily scale. Kablam. I don't know what this news was. So this is important. Whatever news this was at 385 that shot it straight through that 480 level, that's important, right? So whatever that news was, it needs to be solidified on earnings, or it's back to the gulag. It's just as simple as that. Right here, right now, kabam, you're retesting exactly that moment in time. That day. This is the day. Something happened on this story that changed. Yes, technically it's here, but whatever. If you know this stock, somebody tell us what that was. If this story from February 3rd goes away or is invalidated on earnings, this thing's going to the gulag. If it's not, if it's validated, it's going back to the 8s.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. There are a lot of bots right here in the chat. I'm trying to ban them as soon as I see them. There's, yeah, we might have to switch to subscriber mode, guys, because these bots are getting insane. Sorry, Jason. There's too many.
Did I do something?
No, you're fine. There's just like,
because I don't even see the bots.
You don't. I banned a decent amount of them, but they're being bad.
What are they saying?
Stupid stuff, racist stuff, spam stuff, crypto stuff. Like, it's not good. I think we're gonna go to subscribers on, which you don't have to pay anything.
Are the bots the ones that requested Big Bear?
No, that's regular people, dude. That's the problem, guys. Is as a channel grows and there's like a lot of people in the stream, they love targeting those streams. Like, it's just, it's the nature of.
How many people? 2,200 right now?
Yeah, they're gonna start attacking a lot more. But yeah, make one message for 30 seconds. That also probably something that helps. Okay, so overall, you're not bullish on Big Bear.
I don't know enough about it. I'm telling you that the chart what I can see is that the chart is telling me a story that something happened on February 4th, give or take, February 3rd, Monday, February 3rd. There is a story that broke February 3rd, some kind of crazy catalyst. And maybe it's a contract, maybe something like that. As of today, you have pulled back that entire move. It's technically a retest. The candles are getting a little bit smaller, but that's because you have earnings on Thursday. So I don't think this breaks out or goes anywhere until Thursday. And on Thursday, whatever happened at this $4.40 level, it's either going to get confirmed and it's going to go back to where it came from, at least $7 first, or it's going to go all the way back to the gulag of like $2.
My quick take of Big Bear AI, it's $1 billion market cap.
You literally told me you didn't know what this is. Now you're gonna have a take.
Well, I know what it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it's $1 billion market cap. It's a small cap. They have some government deals. They got a government contract a couple weeks ago, which is why they bounced up to $10. I just think
that's a government contract.
This is the definition of speculative, and in this environment, if you're going to bet on this, then you have no one else to blame if it goes.
Amit, you know what I learned as I'm watching? Do you guys know how much of work Amit does while we're doing this Technical Tuesday thing? Because look at, if you refresh your stream, it's like all the stickers are showing up. I've found out that if you put a little hashtag before the ticker sign, it clocks it. So it's hashtag SPY, hashtag PLTR.
But it's not called hashtag, it's cash tag.
No. On YouTube, it's a hashtag.
Oh, yeah. It catches the. Oh, you're right. Yeah. It catches it. Yeah. But yeah, so that's just making sure the chapters are there in the stream. But the point is, I think if you're playing with Big Bear, it is very speculative. If this thing goes, if it goes to the gulag, as Jason's saying, you can't blame anyone but yourself. Now, if it's really cheap and you believe in the thesis and it goes to the moon back to $7 to $10, that's great. But like, there is a level of risk you're taking on here. It's not like there's not risk in this.
Yeah, and I don't really know what this was.
Yeah, it's an AI name. They got some government contracts, but it's not Palantir. It's not like,
They're not even asking for SoundHound. I don't know.
Okay, let's do SoundHound now. Now you're here.
Nope.
Also, we can't do GRRR, this GUR company, guys. These are companies that are.
I heard that's the best stock in the market.
Some of these small caps we just can't do. They're just
actually SoundHound, maybe. Interesting. On the daily, didn't look good, but when I zoomed in a little bit, I'm like, whoa, it's holding. All right, I'm gonna bless SoundHound. Oh shit.
Are you gonna do some TA on this one? Actually,
I just did it. So here's that last kind of peak right here. So because earnings have already passed. Earnings have already passed, which I think is ideal, right? You had a little bit of a pop, like big old, I don't know, was that really did you really earnings? They're clearly not profitable. But if this last report does not crush them, look, I think it's a decent retest, but you have to have a tight stop. So stop has to be 7. Call it 8. Just if you put a stop at $8, they're going to take you. So I would do under 8.
Well, NVIDIA sold out of the stock, so that's what got a lot of people out of it as well.
Sure,
but they bounced on earnings. Yeah,
but if it's not going down anymore, then it's got to go higher before it can come back down. So the upside would be 1390.
Yeah, that's believable in my opinion.
Which is 50%. But that's it.
But again, it's speculative, and I don't know if this is the time to be. But
that's what a dead cat bounce looks like. If you want to know what a dead cat bounce looks like, it would be a 50% bounce on SoundHound from here off the 200-day simple moving average right into 13s. I would cut it before you get to 1390, right? Because I don't want to be around too long. I don't want to overstay my welcome. So call it 1270. I'd cut just because this looks like it get up to 14, but from here, if it goes in this area, I think 30%, so possibly 50%, but like, oh, okay, I'll take 30 if I can get it. And that's got to be over. If you see it cracking through $10, $10 psychological level, it's sitting at 990 right now.
All right, Jason, we have a bunch more, so I'm going to limit
let's go.
it to 2 minutes per each one. I'm just going to cut you off raw at 2 minutes.
Go.
All right, Uber.
I think we said we could short it last time from 80. Target achieved. You're in the middle of the box. I think it's a no touch for right now. I'm not a long-term bull here. It was just a trade, which happened to be a good trade. It's in the middle of the box, right? So here's their box, right? $60 to $80. Your center line, as Carter would say, pair of twos. Interesting, not really interesting. Not going down, but still not really going up. Constructive if you are in it for a long term, but yeah, it's a decent pullback. All right, it's about 50% of the earnings pullback right there. So you don't want to see this go any lower than 70 and change. Stop at 70. Stay long. Stop at 70. All right.
Mercado Libre, Melly.
Oh, I haven't looked at this. I own this. It was coming down. It was really good. Like I bought this here. We looked at this yearly setup. I was like, here was the yearly breakout. Big one. And it started to happen. And we're basing here. I like to see this base. It can come down a little bit. But I don't think you want to be a seller of this. No, sir. I think you hold this. This is not a short-term trade. I think it'd be longer term. As close to 2,000 as you can, if not slightly below. All
right. Trade Desk, TTD.
So I bought it, and then it got instantly hit with like a class action lawsuit. 72. The thing about this, before that happened, and I know it's recovering right now a little bit, but before this, the issue I was having while I was watching it, I was like, all right, so every day it started to open down, get bought up a little bit, open, come down, get bought up a little bit, then sell off, bought up a little bit, open, down, bought, and the dip buyers were getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And I was like, this is not convincing. That's at 71.60. So here, yeah, I know this looks interesting because from a weekly perspective, but you're well below the 200-week simple moving average. I think it's a good spot technically, but something's telling me on this chart that I'm missing a fundamental piece. Maybe it's at Folio taking Trade Desk lunch from a market share perspective, possibly. This is where it should have bounced stronger, but the second it started to or tried to, it got hit with a legal lawsuit. So I don't think you sell this, but I wouldn't necessarily add to it either.
Okay. ASTS, Space Company.
Space. We're liking, dude. So this looks, they just reported.
I don't know why they pumped, but they pumped on earnings. They did $2 million in revenue, $8 billion company. Obviously, they have a backlog of deals.
Was that actually earnings they pumped on?
I don't think there was a.
I don't think it's earnings they pumped on. Because like here's the earnings report. I think it's just the market bounce.
It could have been that too.
Yeah, here's the earnings report, and then open. It started to go down in the pre, bounce up, and this is where the market turned. So they turned. If you were long, I think you stay long. I don't know that I would get net new long necessarily. It's okay, but if the market turns, it's going to turn on this too. It's not bad. Look, they didn't get shellacked.
You'd buy RKLB or Redwire over ASTS though.
I'd buy Redwire over ASTS. It did because it has earnings to come. Rocket Lab has already had their earnings. ASTS just had their earnings. Rocket Lab or Redwire has earnings coming. So I'm looking for, and it's down a lot. So and not a lot of people know about it. So I'd be looking for that initial bounce into earnings, which then I would trim before then.
Okay.
But this is constructive. He's got to be, he's not over 30. As long as holding 27, that's important.
Okay. Costco.
Neutral.
It's up year to date, outperforming NVIDIA.
Yeah, March 6th earnings, super neutral. Not bearish, not bullish, completely sideways.
Oh, but hold on. Before you keep going, I'm not going to take away your screen but Robin had just put something out. Let's see if you guys can see it right here. They're doing another $1 million giveaway in Bitcoin.
Dude, why? Stop that.
No, it's a smart, dude. They're going to get a ton of gold subscribers. That's probably why they're doing it. Dude, 1 million is nothing. That's like marketing dollars. That's easy. But if they can get another 100,000 gold subscribers, it looks, someone just sent me a
They could
screenshot.
hire me for $1 million a year, and I will be
March 5th, guys, tomorrow, 4:45 p.m. Eastern. They said stay on the app because they're going to give away $1 million in Bitcoin. So
what would my job description be?
annoying
help
Vlad
them.
about technical indicators. That's what your job is.
No, I would be like helping them take over the active trader world.
Dude, you should be excited about this. This is $1 million. Like it's good. It's fun, innovative marketing. As a shareholder, you should love this.
Yeah, no, I love them in general. Like I love them long time in general.
All right, Costco. What do you think?
No, it's totally neutral. It's actually not getting hit. I think it's the best every type company. You got earnings on Thursday. So it's not going to go anywhere. Actually, Costco usually doesn't move a whole lot on earnings. If Costco, I don't trade this upside for earnings. Sometimes you get a special dividend for Costco. They just raised their prices. I think this is flat as flat can be. And even if it dips, it probably gets bought right after that when it starts to recover. So I would wait post earnings, and into earnings, I will probably go with a neutral trade.
Okay.
We have to log in. I got a jet soon.
You got 30
4
minutes.
o'clock is a hard stop, so I need a little prep time here, bro.
Okay, so we'll do like 5 more tickers and then we're out.
What time do I have to log into my hoodie?
What do you mean log into your hoodie?
To
That's
get my $1
tomorrow.
million?
Tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Not today. 4:45. So 1:45 for you.
Okay, thank you. They said
Celsius. Yeah, Celsius.
Okay, so I bought the cherry Coke. I bought the cherry Coke Celsius, and it was actually the best flavor I've had. You guys probably think it's quite disgusting. I think this is going to go sideways for a long time. I don't think you want to. So any stock that gets hit this bad, 80% down, you cannot expect that this is going to V out and recover, right? Just no way, no how. You need some time to breathe. I think this is sell puts and sell calls. It is interesting level. But I don't think it's like, boom, all of a sudden this crazy growth anymore, right? They're still going to claw their way out of it. So as long as it's over 23s, you can be neutral to long-term cautiously optimistic on this. If you see a big pop on this thing, sell it because it's going to come back down. It's got to go sideways for like a couple months, if not longer.
Okay. Can we do honest? HANST.
HNST. Whose company is this? Isn't this somebody's company?
Jessica Alba.
We like Jessica.
I don't care about Jessica, but people.
You don't like Jessica?
People care.
Dude,
I'm neutral. I don't really care about her.
I'm neutral. Okay.
I don't have an opinion on her, but her company, people invested in. So
this is another breakout here. Retest. So you're getting that last earnings report for free. You just got it again. I don't know what happened. This looks like a pretty neutral earnings report. So it's not, I think this goes sideways. Give this one needs some time, but it does not look like it's coming down. And if it does, it's in the mid threes, but it's not. I guess it's $5 here. These are penny stocks, so you can't really anything under $5 is a penny stock. So you can't do time frames less than 1 day on this. So it's 459, that it has to hold.
Okay. Archer.
Oh, did you buy this one yet?
Nope. Not by this one.
Not even a dip, dude.
Nope.
Not even a dip to buy. I really wanted to short IBM too. Like I was like, I'm short IBM. My worst ticker. I mean, dude, it had the chance to fall apart and it held it together post earnings. So that's an impressive hold. I got to give it to him there. Impressive hold. Market needs to stay together. We want to see appetite come back through. It's probably a bounce into the 10s and back on the mend.
Okay. TSM.
So I think semis get the, I know Amit said the GTC is only for NVIDIA, but then all of a sudden you heard him. He said it's also Google. If it's anybody else aside from NVIDIA, it's TSM. So yeah, do it. I think you just do it. No earnings. I think you get this pop. I think this is your spot. Big retest here under the 200-day. If you get a higher low, 170s, 175 was like, that's a big level. So I think this is good. This is like just do it.
Okay.
Not financial advice. Speaking of, just hold this. Do nothing.
Nike's been doing well.
It's doing fine. It's not doing bad at all. It's constructive. Still like no, like make no mistakes. Still like a broader downtrend, but off the lows definitively. Not definitively, but like off the lows for sure. On the mend, you still got earnings coming end of the month, so I think you might get a little move up in there. I like it. I like it long term. I got two boomer stocks. I got Boeing, which we need to do, and I got Nike. So Boeing, I bought today. Again, big flush below the 200. I actually sold my options right here because it was taking way too long to continue to break out. Like amazing decision to do that. We got a big retest right on this. You can see that volume shelf right here. So this entire area of consolidation getting tested today, a pretty decent bounce. I think all the airlines and stuff like that, interesting. I don't know how much tariffs are going to like impact these, but this is an ad today from an equity perspective. You can see this right here. So that last low right here, right above this kind of consolidation area right here, big bounce and hold. Do you want to be adding on this below 160 whenever you get it, below 165 really? Yeah, I bought this at 140s, but it was an ad today.
NCLH, Norwegian.
Yeah, so these guys have all been getting hit. Look at this fall. Again, right back to the scene of the crime. This is the definition in general of like breakout retests. Can these go lower? Dude, they totally can. They can totally go lower. But is this, if you were like savvy enough to take some profits in the 30s or close to, you're now down 30% from the highs. Again, it's kind of like reload areas. I like it closer to 18s. But this is definitely interesting. And from this entire consolidation picture, it's interesting. Maybe ask Chris, but this is technically a lower high. So this is my only concern right here, is that this last high, it ran into the overhead resistance right there. So it needed to come back down anyways. It needs to come back down right into about here.
Okay. Can we do
I saw this like 5 times.
Dude, people get obsessed with certain names, but yes, Nebus is another one.
I don't know this one. This looks very bear flaggy. You guys know what a bear flag is?
It's a big bear AI created flag.
No, like if this was if I turn this upside down, that looks like a flag, a big bull flag.
Yeah.
But this chart is inversed. And in reality, it's like this. So it's on the edge. It is like as low as you wanted it to go to hold this structure. If it reclaims, I would just connect these lows. Very simple. I would just connect these lows. If it does reclaim, I would expect it to come back into 40s and then possibly do like this, right? Before it does that. But true story. Otherwise, you need to be cautious of just a rejection right here. Even then, I think you're okay.
I think CoreWeave going public could be a catalyst for them as well.
I think a normal technician would say this is just a straight bear flag and it's bearish. I'm actually not going to say that. I think it's neutral. You want to watch this.
Yeah, they need semis need a tailwind, and NVIDIA going back to 150 or 140 would be a tailwind, and I think that could help Nevis as well. I believe NVIDIA's invested in them. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but that's another bull case for them.
The nukes are getting some love. These are interesting. The nukes. NNE is the one nuke. This is the one that has the plant to still open. That's interesting spot. Big breakout, retest, holding. Looks like it wants to break. So there's some areas in the market that look like they have some appetite.
Can we do Walmart?
Ew. I think you're okay. I don't think you sell this. You're holding that last low right here. This is post earnings. You got to give this like a month. Like, so you've had your 3-day rule, but it's gonna take a while to breathe. What's good here now is that it's just now getting back to where the earnings was not bad, right? So, but here's the big earnings move, and here's the low of earnings. They held it today. So it breached that low 3 days after, bounced, but your pivot is actually right there at 100. So I think you're going to stay in this box for a while. So I would wait to take a trade on this until it's out of the box in one way or the other. Not sure which way it's going to go. It could easily go this way, but I'd wait for the box to break and then take a retest on one of those.
Okay, can we do ELF?
But they want some weird stuff. Are we going like barrel fishing? Is that what it's called? Barrel fishing? No, dumpster diving. Barrel fishing. Why did I get barrel fishing? This is dumpster diving. I don't think you want this. This is horrendous.
Yeah.
No. Throw this in the garbage. Even if you think that the fundamentals are fine, they're not fine enough. Because you can the chart's telling you it's not. Estee Lauder is your what could be. What's Kamala's saying?
You have not been burdened by what is something like that.
Something like that. This is what you could be looking at. An elf could be like right here in that story. No, dude, no. I don't want this. And like, here's the thing. This is a lipstick stock, an actual lipstick stock. If there's appetite in the market for growth, it's not an elf.
Yeah,
so this fair. It's not even a safety trade. It's not a safety stock. It's not a growth stock.
Okay.
I'm very cautious.
Can we do AppLovin, APP?
Yeah, so this is the one where I'm like, okay, is it AppLovin or is it APPS? What's AAP? APPS? What's APPS?
No, it's APP. That's the ticker. There's no S.
Yeah. No, there's another one, APPS.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There is another one. Yeah.
So interesting spot for sure. I don't remember. Is it this the one that's taking maybe trade desk lunch? I don't know.
Yes, to an extent. Yes.
Yeah, it's not breaking down, man. So maybe this is the new trade desk, maybe not. It's constructive, but again, bear flaggy.
It's down 50%, right? From highs?
I don't know.
Just about, roundabout. Yeah, this is the competition for Hood on the S&P as well.
APP?
Yeah. Dude, it's $100 billion company. They're a big company. They do advertising technology.
Bro, first of all, this was a $50 stock not even that long ago.
I don't know. Now it's $350.
I'm sorry, $8.
It was a 10x last year, bro.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
How would they? You don't think this is too high flyer for it?
I don't know. All I know is
this is the short. It's going down. Hoodie's going in. I'm joking. I have no idea. You want it to hold here. So if it's really competition, maybe it gets a little rumor news bounce. This chart looks like weight. Like this is the what we say diddle in the middle. Probably close to your Reddit. It's at the lower end of the range where you want it to bounce. Still married?
No, I'm out of Reddit. I sold it. Paid like $300.
Flip flopper, guys.
Dude, I put it into NVIDIA. I'd rather have NVIDIA than Reddit.
He's such a flip flopper.
Reddit was always meant to be a one night stand, but then I got feelings. I got attacked.
I know. That's what I said.
And I realized, like,
put a ring on it, and I'm like,
I realized she's annoying. Like, she's annoying, and so I left.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Anyways, well, he sold the lows.
Well, but the covered call premium allowed me to break even or like make like $300, I think, on the trade.
Yeah, there you go. This
okay,
is right? You're here, but like, dude, this is like hanging on by a thread. It could bounce, but it might be a dead cat bounce for real.
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
Can we do PayPal?
Why is this thing so dead? Like, what happened? I thought they were buying back their shares, and the thing keeps.
They're going to buy back 10. They're going to buy back 10% of the company at this point,
bro. But like, I thought they were supposed to be like putting a floor in. They literally rugged everybody because they're not buying. Otherwise, this wouldn't be happening.
Or maybe they're buying whoever the hell is selling. Like the company is liquidity.
Is that much selling going on?
I mean, that would be bad, but yeah, it feels like it.
I think that some of these things, maybe this is an IV play, like where if volatility is too low, it's not. It's still high.
So you didn't touch this?
No, I'd rather Square.
I'd rather PayPal over Square. I disagree with you on that. I'd rather have PayPal.
Well, I'd rather Square because IV is underpriced.
Simple. I'd rather PayPal because I trust Alex Chris over Jack Dorsey.
It's not even about that. It's a trade. It's a trade, right? Like, I hear you though. I think 63s.
Okay, can we do hymns?
Okay, this is on edge. I don't know here. This is now or never. And if it's not now, it's 20s, dude. So what are they going to do? It's got to hold. What's that now? This area. But if this fails, it's not going to be fun. It's holding, though, for right now. 35s. Oh, look at that, dude. So it would have been 30s if this doesn't hold. It's technically a higher low, still over the 50. I think you play that ping pong in between the from the 50 to the 20, but you're definitely going to go into some consolidation. This looks like it's going to go into some consolidation, but you'd want to have it something like that. Ideally, everything is going to have a dead cap bounce. Is it a dead cap? We don't know. We're going to find out. It's going to have a bounce. And all the bounces have the possibility of becoming dead cats.
Okay. Can we do MSTR?
Not short anymore. Covered today. On this higher low intraday, and then the Bitcoin kind of bounce. But you know, this is where it was run into a lot of resistance. God, should I open it right now? Fuck. No, I'm not gonna open it right now. I think it wants to get back to this area, but I don't know. I still don't. Wasn't it wild to see that one day we're like MSTR up like 15% on whatever news? It's crazy. But so like, see this volume profile on the right hand side of my screen in here. So I've been calling out like these peaks of if this is a mountain range, you look at like a mountain range, right? But you trade peak to peak. So that means that as long as I was over essentially this peak, I wanted to, for a short, I wanted to see it go below this peak. Then I'd be like, yo, we're going to the gulag. But it didn't, right? So it recovered. So I just got to go level to level. It's up in these 330s if it can hold over 260 from here. That is it.
Okay. Can we do VRT, data center play on NVIDIA?
I mean, it's not a GTC play though, right? Or is it?
Yeah. You should be a comedian, bro. You're just a fun guy, bro.
You know, it's an interesting level for sure. I thought it was going to hold earlier. It's definitely interesting. So earnings is behind you. You got a little funky catalyst going on. This thing is this again. If this bounces, you got to get through this area. Oh, I used the wrong tool. Time check. Gotta go. This is the last one. One more after this. So it can bounce up to 95, 99s, but it's right in like a little trouble spot right now. 95s. If it's over 95, then I'm more interested. One more, last one.
Oh my gosh, this is too much pressure. This is too much. I've already told people we're gonna do a bunch of these.
We just
did. You pick. You go through the. There's guys. Spam the tickers. Spam it hardcore. Make Jason struggle on this one.
Dude, literally, they come up with Hershey. I already did Nike.
We already did Boeing.
Did Boeing.
We wanted Merck, but we've got one left. Coinbase, people want. It's up. Axon, people want it. It's up to you, bro.
Let's do coin.
Okay, there you go. You picked coin. Picked coin.
All right. Ooh, actually interesting. Interesting. So the biddy play, super interesting. 200 session gap from earnings. No. What is this? November 5th?
That was right before Trump. I mean, it basically touched below 200 after Friday.
Yo, that's interesting.
I just think this, like, given you're into hood now, this is not even worth. I mean,
I don't know. I did
as a trade, yeah, but
yeah, this thing moves like so. First of all, Coinbase loves its Fridays. It's consolidating pretty heavily here. I think on a lot of these have this kind of, this is what we call like a broadening formation. So this could easily get into the 240s, dude. And here's your shelf. And I have a session gap right here. So I'm glad I picked this one. It's interesting. So here's my volume shelf, which fills that gap. So over 225, I'm going to call it here. Over this 225, I think you can fill this area in very short order. This is why this is trading, but like, look at this. I think a move like that can be filled on Coinbase, just so you know, in a day. Did it once before in a day.
That looks like something, but I'm not gonna.
Dude,
I don't know. I don't know. It just looks like something.
So 225. This could be an epic day trade. I would just do this day by day. It likes to do it at the end of the weeks. But over 225, yeah, you're gonna get right back over that 200 day for a nice little dead cat bounce of like 25 intraday points, potentially higher if this can follow through. It's a good spot. It's a good spot. Your stops are gonna have to be like 180. If you're equity here, that's also fine. If you're leverage here, like Connell, also fine. Stops has to be at 190 on the underlying ticker COIN. Cool.
All right, that's it. I'm sorry we couldn't get to the final 5-10 tickers. Jason also has a life. He's got to get out of here, but he came for 3 hours and actually helped us under. See, as soon as I said it, dude, as soon as I said it, I knew what you would say. He jumped on the stream for 3 hours.
I didn't say anything of it.
Dude, see, this is your fault. This is your fault. But 3 hours. There's his Twitter right there in the chat. Options 201.
I appreciate you guys. I'll check in with Mama. I'll text him it. Let him know. You think it's Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday 12 p.m. Hopefully,
Dude,
Saturday.
that's pretty. That's pretty. That's par for the course, actually. So.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Saturday, options 201. Hopefully, and then next Tuesday we'll be back. Actually,
right,
no,
guys.
we won't.
Tuesday.
Adios.
See ya.
See
On the
ya.
next one. Bye.
Yeah. Okay, so actually we won't have technical Tuesday next Tuesday because I will be flying. So we were gonna we'll try to do technical Tuesday on Monday next Monday, because I'll be leaving on Tuesday. So I'll talk to Jason. We'll try to get that to happen on Monday instead. Okay, cool. So that's it for today. I will be live in a couple hours for the joint session of Congress that Trump is having. So you guys will see me in just a little bit. Everyone can go get some dinner, and we'll be back in about 2 hours. I don't know what the heck Trump is going to say. There were some rumors that said they're going to sign the minerals deal, but now you got some reporters saying the minerals deal is not going to be signed tonight. I guess we'll find out. Howard Lutnick said that there will be a deal tomorrow that will avoid the tariffs with Mexico and Canada. Will that actually happen? I guess we'll find out tonight or tomorrow morning in terms of how those negotiations play out. But obviously, today's been incredibly volatile day. I still don't know why Palantir's up 3.7% after hours. I didn't find any headlines, but it is. S&P as well is up 1%. Robinhood's up about 2.5%. We did get a bounce. It's just a question of if this bounce is going to last. But we did indeed get a bounce, and maybe the market's pricing in that tariffs are actually not going to happen. Tesla is well up 2% after hours. NVIDIA is also up. Wow, yeah, 118, 2% after hours. So I guess this joint address of Congress is going to let us know a lot more about what's going on with Trump. Yes, he's speaking tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. So in 2 hours, I will be live. And we'll see what Trump has to say. Also, the daily recap, that'll be out in probably an hour, probably like 7:30-ish. So the recap will be out in a bit. And you guys could watch that now and then go into the live stream or watch that tomorrow whenever you want. But that recap will be out. There's a lot of stuff to cover in the recap because a lot of shit happened today. So we will have all those segments in the daily recap episode number 2 here today. All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. We will be back in 2 hours, and we'll see whatever Trump says on this joint address of Congress. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you guys in a bit. Bye.